Hey everybody, welcome to Street Fight Radio. Glad that you're here. It's Sunday night. I thought it was Wednesday. Sunday night. It's time for a Street Fight. The call-in show. We do this every single Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can watch it on Twitch. You can watch it on Twitter. You can watch it on Facebook. You can watch it on YouTube. You can chat with all the people that are listening along. You can even jump in the Discord where there's a live stream chat and people talk about the show as it's happening. So come hang with the gang if you got nothing better to do. But don't stay up too late if you got work tomorrow, because you're going to need the energy to get through it. You can find the show as a podcast as well on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, all your normal places. Tonight we are doing a very special call-in show. It's the ABCD call-in show. That means anyone but cis dudes. We're asking on this Mother's Day that anyone but cis dudes call into the show. And we had a few smart Alecs already ask, well, then who's going to host the show? And I want to say that we would never force this labor of working these call queues on any woman or non-binary person.
I would love it.
I wouldn't. But I couldn't. I think it would be an injustice to force them to do this labor.
Well, people on the internet also asking us to take the week off before we take 2 weeks off.
Okay.
With the call-in show.
Yeah. I would love to.
I would love to give this to women.
Yeah, we just don't. We're just remotely. We're not. We got to find some. We got to find a substitute somewhere. I don't know where. Maybe if we could get Lindsay Martin to come in.
Lindsay. There's a woman that works in the organization named Katie, but she probably isn't going to want to do a whole show.
Right.
So, I don't know, man. Oh, you want to hear something funny?
Yes. Oh, I want to let people know we're coming to do live shows in your city. If you live in Denver, Albuquerque, Phoenix, or Las Vegas this month in like 2 weeks, head to streetfightradio.com. It's right there on the main page. Southwest Tour. All the tickets and information is available there. And if you want to support what we do and make sure that we can continue to spread this mess across the U.S., head over to patreon.com/streetfightradio, where you get bonus zines, you get bonus shows, and you get to watch TV with Brian and I, little undercover business tyrants. We watch these bosses go undercover and treat them like shit and shame them. And it's a really fun time and a great way to hang out with your pals digitally.
Yeah.
I like it.
We'll hang out with some digital people.
Digital friends. So, how's your Mother's Day been going so far?
Okay. I took a walk, of course, and I don't know. I got my wife a gift. I hung out with her a lot yesterday. It's been a good weekend. Mother's and Father's Day are very weird days. I don't quite get I don't know what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. I think that probably best to sit down and have a situation. Have a discussion, little conference about what exactly the expectations are, Because sometimes people want like surprises and big dinners and brunches and all that stuff. So I just think that you're appreciated is what it is.
Yeah, I haven't called my mom today, but I guess that's not probably going to happen now.
Okay.
I messed up there.
Yeah, well, I mean, that happens too.
Well, I'm not.
It's usually a result of your parents not doing the work earlier to kind of build that deep root system that you want to upkeep.
Yeah, I did go to my in-laws' house yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to say also, like, moms are horrible too. Like, moms aren't like intrinsically good. Some of them are horrible, and if you got one of those, I kind of understand some of it. A taste.
Yeah,
but that's life.
I mean, I don't know. I just kind of don't like. Trying to think, man. These kind of days are weird when you're an adult and you have a kid, because to me it feels like I should be focused on the mother I live with.
Right.
I don't got all time for the other ones.
Yeah, we had I've had some battles. Now we have to figure out. I got a mother-in-law, I got a regular mother, and I'm married to one, and those three all want to be the queen for the day.
Yeah.
And that is a dicey situation.
We went to the in-laws yesterday, but I did my brakes while I was there, so I was kind of.
You drove there and did your brakes in the driveway?
Yeah. That's
Great.
I mean,
that's a great way to display to her family that you can provide and take care of her brakes.
Her dad did come and sit next to me for like 10 minutes and was just like, "Never thought of you as a handy guy, Brian." I was like, What do you think I did for 7 years when I was like in the cable company and 1 year when I was a roofer? Like, how much more handy can you be?
Yeah, I can beat the boss over the head with this wrench, and I can also turn it.
Yeah. I don't like, I'm not like a, what's the word? I'm not handy. You know, I'm not Handy Manny over here from the Disney Channel.
Right.
I can't do a lot of things, but like,
No, Bob the Builder.
If you talk about brakes on a car, if you take it to the place to fix the brakes, they're going to charge you like $300. If you do them yourself, it costs $22. Mm-hmm. So of course I learned how to do brakes.
You got to.
Of course.
You got to.
Why wouldn't I? I'm cheap. I'm the cheapest guy that's ever lived. So I did it. My wife this week, we were talking about getting phones. I think we're going to get new phones soon. And she was like, "Oh, I think I'm going to get a. I'm going to look at some of the other phones." And I was like, "Oh, no, you're not." And she said, "Well, what do you mean, no, you're not?" And I was like, "Here in the Street Fight organization, we like blue text boxes.
Right.
Don't fuck up all the group chats."
Yeah. Don't leave me out here sending individual SMSs to everybody. Individual green bubbles.
Trying to mess up the group chat here.
Yeah.
I know. Me and you and her in a chat. And I mean, other than all the other ones that just exist for socializing. But then it's like, no, this organization is blue bubbles all the way. It's not a sponsorship thing. It is... Keep it all in the same place.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Keep it easy and all in the same place. Plus, it's a better phone. And I don't want to deal...
For simpletons. This makes them feel better. Because we're simpletons.
Right.
We don't understand the potential of the phone.
Right. And I would have to learn how to... She ain't going to fix her phone when something fucked up goes with it either. She ain't going to fix her Samsung Galaxy Note or whatever the phone is. That's not going to fall on her.
Right.
Fixing that phone. You know who's going to fall on? Me. And I have a good phone that works. A simpleton's phone. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So I nipped that right in the bud. That was my most small business tyrant thing I ever did. It was just like, no, come on. And I was like, you're going to be messaging people. And she was like, oh, you know, it does make sense. Everybody I've talked to for the show has had a blue text bubble. And I'm like, yes, there you go. That's the way it works.
It's a cult. You have to be in the club.
Yeah, no, it's just, again, we've said this before. I'm not pro Apple at all. I'm not pro iPhone. I am pro... Everybody got to get the same thing.
Just easy.
Just one
easy
kind
to
of
work
phone.
with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just communism with
the
phones.
The thing that messed up with the Android was that they let people make other phones besides the Galaxies. Like all the Samsung won the contract for Android phones. Nobody else should bother.
Well, and I'm listening to like I'm listening to the other stuff. Your Kickstarter sucks. And stuff like that, where Stephen Heck recently got a Google phone.
Yes.
Sounds like an absolute fucking nightmare what's going on with this guy. He can't communicate with any of the other people in his circle. It's like just a mess. And I'm just like, no, man.
Yeah.
Why'd you get that for?
Yeah.
But
stick it with the simpleton phone.
Yeah. Just
with
get
the big shiny buttons, and it makes you feel like you're part of the crowd. It really makes you feel like you're somebody.
Yeah. I mean, for people that don't understand wanting to just fit in all the time.
You know what? This is kind of the way, though, that I was thinking about it with shoes and the way that, like, capitalism works now, and that, like, Adidas and Nike, Reebok, Puma, all of them have all decided that the sock shoe is like the wave of the future with like the big marshmallow bottom. And so now all of the companies make the same shoe. and they are just have a different insignia on the side.
You know-
and it's similar to what happened with cars, like the way they regulated cars and everything, to the point where you can't. A Honda and an Audi kind of look a little similar, and then sometimes a Ford will sneak by and you don't know what it is. The Chrysler 300 looks like a motherfucking Bentley or Phantom or whatever. You know, all that.
That
shit.
was one of the things that sort of freaked me out when I popped out of my little like having a kid, the early stages of having a kid, where I just wore the same Nautica jeans and the same shoes for 7 years when she was like real little. I noticed that all the shoes had become like these webbing things. It's like a
Yes.
sort of web
Fly
sort of
knit.
thing. And when you put them on, if one drop rains, your socks are soaking wet. And I hate those fucking shoes. And it took me forever to have to try to figure out how much I hate them. And now I'm back on like anything except for the fly knit. I hate those fucking things.
Sure.
They
Or the sock
dry
shoes?
fast and they're light and stuff.
Yeah.
But Jeezy Pete, man.
Yeah.
Give me some of these. Give me these ugly ones that I'm wearing. These Keens, they're hideous. But
Yes.
you know the Air Force Ones, man. Those things are great.
Well, yeah, they're like a Dory Loco taco.
Yeah, everybody's making fun of me at the Mother's Day thing.
Yeah.
For my shoes.
Yeah. I mean, they're loud. People don't like loud stuff. They want you to just fit in. They want you to get a pair of white shoes with a black symbol on the side.
I was in a fucking double wide trailer with a cowhide rug on the floor, and they're making fun of my shoes.
Yeah.
My Realtree Air
Oh.
Force Ones.
Oh, at the in-laws.
At the in-laws, yeah. They're making fun of fucking me, my shoes. At that,
what was their cut?
they had like fucking John Wayne pictures hanging on the wall all over
Well,
the
they
place.
sound like they're authentic.
Yeah, well they are.
So what did they say?
They just saying like, no, look at those shoes. Those are some ugly ones. You know, they weren't like
That's pretty mild.
slamming
That's pretty
me.
mild.
They weren't like slamming me, but it was just like, what's up with those shoes, man?
Nobody
What's going on with those shoes?
Okay.
But nobody talks to me anymore over there because they assume I'm a snowflake and I get offended.
Melted easily.
This whole thing happened. This whole fucking horrible event happened, right? Where last year I went for the first time to to my in-laws' new house, and I sat in a room with my father-in-law for 4 hours, and he yelled at me about politics, and it sucked. And we had to leave. We ended up leaving, and I told my wife, like, that wasn't the best day of my life or anything. So I think my wife kind of mentioned something about it, and they were like, okay, well, you're not allowed to talk politics with Brian anymore, to my father-in-law. And so now he just doesn't talk to me at all. Nobody talks to me. And I'm like,
not bad.
I didn't fucking say, like, don't talk to me. I didn't even say don't talk to me about politics. I just don't want to fucking sit for 4 hours
Sure.
and get yelled at by a conservative. That's
Yeah.
it. That's all I'm asking for.
Absolutely.
I didn't say, I didn't make things off limit. Now I look like, now I look like I need a safe space. So now I don't get any conversation. Just no talking. Nothing.
Yeah.
It's just, I can't talk to this guy. He's a sensitive Steve over there. And I'm like, I'm not a sensitive Steve. I can take it. I don't want to. I can.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? I'm not offended by that shit, dude. That shit doesn't bother me. But now I feel like I gotta go in there and fucking start throwing down.
Sure. You don't want him to think he won.
Yeah. I feel like I lost.
Well, I don't know. This is the first I'm hearing of this. I
It's
don't
the
know
first
if we
I thought of
should-
it.
Yeah.
Since yesterday was the first time I thought about how, like, he sat and
it.
watched me do breaks for 10 minutes, right? Sat next to me while I was finishing up the breaks, and then he walked away. Well, actually, he said, is there any beer here? And they said, no, there's only wine. And he said, fuck this, I'm leaving. And
Oh.
he got in his car and left and went and bought an 18-pack of beer and came back. I imagine, wine is I guess, wrong.
Sure.
So
Yeah, I mean, he's probably trapped in a little fragile masculinity there.
yeah, so he went and got the beer, and they came back, didn't talk to me when he got back, and I was just like, all right, man.
Well,
okay.
I mean, you could drum up a conversation with him, right?
Yeah, just
You
be
could
like, you heard this,
Yeah, I saw a movie the other day. This guy was shooting people in the head. It was fucking great. He loves stuff like that, right?
yeah.
He had a real big gun, like huge. He was just like doing justice on everybody.
I would just keep telling him I watched Death Wish over and over again.
Yeah. Like, oh, remember that part one? Yep. Remember that part one? Yeah.
He probably didn't like Death Wish. He didn't like movies anymore.
Yeah, see, that's
Told me he don't like movies.
he needs to be rehabbed.
Liberal bullshit. All
Yeah,
of them. Even the
that
conservative
sucks.
ones are
That
liberal bullshit.
sucks.
Yeah.
No movies.
No
Just
TV, no
Thomas
movies.
Jefferson books.
Oh yeah, well yeah. I mean that's something. Just there's not enough words spilled about Thomas Jefferson for him.
Yeah.
He's gonna be. I think when he's on his deathbed, the one thing he's gonna be sad about is that he's not gonna read the next Thomas Jefferson book.
Yeah.
When he's on his deathbed, he's like, they're gonna write so many more books about Thomas fucking Jefferson, and I'm not gonna get to read them.
Yeah. I wanted to see the 3D hologram of Monticello in its heyday.
I wanted to be able to jack into my virtual reality and own slaves as Thomas Jefferson,
Yeah. Hang out with Andrew Jackson.
Like in the Matrix, he's just in the Matrix, and his Matrix is just him oppressing people. That's his whole fucking fantasy. He's like, oh yeah. So many dudes. I've been in too many. I'll tell you this. I've been listening to a 10-hour video of the Opie and Anthony breakup, and have just heard some of the worst politics that you could ever possibly hear, interspersed in there.
Yeah, I would be burnt raw by that.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't too much because it was all them talking, but every time politics sort of things came up, it was like, oh, Jesus Christ, how did I do this? Why, how is this what I wanted to hear? But it was they didn't talk about it. They didn't talk about it all day or anything. But then it's every word they said was fucking horrible. Everything they thought, one of the guys is just and I'm going to do a show about this, but one of the dudes is I don't feel like we connect. I don't feel like we have chemistry anymore. And then when they play the other guy's audio, the other guy's like, chemistry? What are you, gay? And it's just oh my God. What mess is going on in your mind?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, Brian's doing a deep dive into that horrible show.
I'm doing a deep dive into Shock Jocks, period. I think I've named the show. I think in October. Starting in October, the plan is for...
Should we do scary stuff in October?
Well, this is one thing that I'm doing by myself in October. In October, I feel I will be done with it, but I'm doing a 5 or 6 part series on Shock Jocks. I'm going to call it Jocktober because that is the famous Opie and Anthony bit where they would make fun of other shock jocks. So I thought I thought I would do it in October and just do Jocktober.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Call it that. And I'm going to listen to these shock jocks. I'm going to check out Bubba the Love Sponge. I'm going to check out Man Cow. I'm going to check out Tom Likas.
Figure out what got us here to where we're at.
I do think it got us here, though. That's part of, I think, one of the interesting things about it is that, especially when you talk about, the Opie and Anthony audience, it did splinter 2 ways. And I think this is one of the ways. You understand what I'm saying? And then the other way is the bad way. Yeah. You know, it was like a light side and a dark side. And people sort of woke up to the bad shit that they were doing, the more problematic type, just horrible shit. They really did horrible stuff. I loved it back in the day, and I would like to understand what made me love it. I would like to understand. I'm going to talk to Felix about Opie and Anthony. I'm going to talk to Stogie Stevens about Bubba the Love Sponge, and I really want to know what it was that got us to listen to these guys for 10 years. And I also think, just in my mind, and this is for you millennials out there, and for you 20-year-olds. There was a time in this country where men in their 20s and 30s aligned each other with a radio show as an army and went to war with another radio show. And I don't think that like people even get that was like a real fucking thing. You know what I mean? Like I can't imagine like a teen hearing that now and be like, well, with a radio, like they would turn on the radio every morning.
Yeah.
And they would get mad at another radio show and they would go try to make the other radio show
look bad. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to do it. I think it sounds fun, but I am doing a deep dive into a lot of that stuff.
Well, so then I have something to add on that perfectly transitions to that from that is, in regards to some of the subgroups that we have going on in the Street Fight group in Facebook, and just to any listeners and the people that hang out in some of the, even at our live shows or anywhere, I want to say Brian and I, as married guys, have probably more experience with this. But if you're a younger fellow and you say something or do something, and woman, non-binary pal, has a problem with it and tells you something that makes you feel bad, you just put your hands up and say, okay, that's fine, right?
I mean, you don't expect. There's like a few different ways to deal that I think men deal with this sort of thing. And one of them is to expect them to explain every minute detail of it to you.
Yes. Till the end
Which
of time.
Which is even like I've been offended at times about things people have said about me. And like, I can't really explain. Like, there's a lot of times where people have a tendency online, especially in the group of people that I have not gathered around me, but like my peers and shit like that, you know, we fuck around a lot and stuff and make fun of each other sometimes and shit. And like, if somebody posts a picture of themselves, there's been times where somebody has said something that sort of like offended me, you know what I mean? About me. Just personally. I can't tell you why it offended me, because I call myself a fat shit all the time. I call myself all kinds of things all the time, but when somebody else does it, it offends me. I don't have a good reasoned out explanation. So when there are a lot of dudes that don't understand why when you say something that bothers somebody, they might not have like a well-reasoned explanation for why that thing bothers them, but you should at least like respect that it bothers them. And like, I mean, if you're not out here to hurt people's feelings,
yeah, just go on to the next thing. Like if somebody says, hey, this triggers me, this reminds me of an assault, or like women have to worry about this thing, or this affects women in this way, you take your little thought, you put it on your mental on a leaf in your mind, and you put that on your little mental river, and you watch it float away, and you stop worrying about somebody's fucking life unless they're going to be a significant part of yours. You know, unless you're going to be living with or marrying with this person, like you don't have to know everything about somebody's life or get satisfaction from them. Sometimes it's, you said something stupid and you apologize and listen to what they say. And, women are just as vicious on the battlefield, and they might say something to hurt your feelings on the way out, right? But also, they don't speak up every time you say something stupid. Like every time when I pretend I know what mitochondrial DNA is, my wife doesn't then like quiz me on it and then prove that I don't know, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit that slides. I'm just saying, like, I'm just trying to be jovial about it. But
I think my thing
stop
is
throwing tantrums. It's stupid. Who cares, man? I mean, someone told me I said a fucking gay slur today. I said something, so it happens.
What are you fucking out here saying gay?
Somebody told me turd burglar was like it was a home. I didn't know it as that.
You texted me and I said I thought. First of all, I'm not texting anybody because I'm listening to a 10-hour YouTube video by Opie and Anthony
homophobes.
Stuff. So I don't have time to text with you people. I'm busy. I'm listening to this thing, and I just am like, I knew, like, so I can see where you might not have known that this was a homophobic slur, but in the times that I've used it when I was younger and shit, like, that's what I was getting at.
Oh, okay.
But I'll say this. I can see somebody being like, oh, what a funny concept, somebody stealing turds.
I think it's hilarious.
You know what I mean?
think it's the lowest
I get
possible
it.
thing on earth. Like, I mean, a thief is really bad. Like somebody that steals from other people is really bad. But if you're stealing turds out here, I mean, what are you doing?
But people,
like, what is your life?
People who did say that to you.
Yeah, I mean,
I will tell you that, like, just from growing up where I grew up, and even through that time, like, that word is exclusively used towards gay men.
Yeah, I know. You're exactly right. And I pieced it all together once they said it, because I did hear it as a kid. When I thought of it as, I didn't realize what it was. I thought of it as the humorous thing. But the people that were saying it were totally like homophobic adults.
Yeah.
That I overheard their conversation.
Yeah, I mean, but again,
But can we please, can I still just say it in like the stealing shit way?
You don't get to take it
like
back.
You're a shit stealer?
you don't get to take it back.
Stop.
You need to come up with another way to talk about somebody stealing
When
your
I was
turds.
like, when I did my first poop in the potty when I was like 3 years old or whatever, I went to go tell my mom, and my dog ate that shit.
Okay,
Burgled my turd. My dog
okay.
Angel was a turd burglar.
I thought that was going to go a different way. That was also going to be funny, is when you first took your first shit in the toilet, you grabbed it out of the toilet with your hand and showed your parents.
No.
But I get it.
Yeah.
Ugh, God, dogs are this is why I'm not going to do it. I get in trouble every time. I'm just going to say that dog ate a turd. That's all I'm going to say.
Yep.
And then we're going to move to the callers. Gross, man. Our dogs used to eat spit.
I mean, yeah, I mean, they're in one with nature.
We weren't trying
They
to
don't
like
have,
get
like, the
them to drink
hesitation.
spit. I used to. My friend's dog Bags, right? He used to run around in the backyard. I used to pee off my friend's roof because peeing off of a tall thing is funny, like, or just refreshing. Not refreshing, but like it
Liberating?
feels neat. You know, it's like
Liberating.
when we go to the Grand Canyon, I'm gonna spit off it immediately. If we go by the Grand Canyon, I'm gonna spit off of it. It's the same thing with peeing. You pee off this guy's roof, and his dog used to just run up and start like drinking the pee, and I thought it was hilarious. But now when I think about it, it's like, what are you fucking doing, dog?
The dog, it doesn't matter. It's not going to harm it. You could drink the pee, dude. Drinking pee isn't harmful. It's not like toxins.
No, it is. It's
No.
the bad stuff from inside your body coming out.
No, the Bible said water will flow from their bellies. You can look it up.
That doesn't.
It's the life force, dude.
That's okay. All right,
But you can
man.
drink pee. It's not going to fuck you up. That dog's fine.
It's
That
gross.
dog lives without like anxiety of the brain. Like that dog just knows when stuff will kill it, and when it just gets a refreshing new flavor. In
No
its mouth.
social graces. for
No,
a dog.
no, they don't care,
none.
man. They're dirty.
No social anxiety for a dog. Let's get some women on.
Yeah, well, I
some
wanna say-
ABCD people on the show.
Yeah, I want to say once again, thank you to the gay Raffy and Pachui on Twitter for the idea and the suggestion. And thank you, Learnworm, from Instagram for making that that poster I put up today. Learnworm is the famous artist of Means TV. They did the little animation there, the little utopian figures watching TV in the forest. So, you ready to get this thing started here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's make sure I got the right person.
Please don't hang up on the. We gotta hang up on people. I promise
I
somebody.
hope this comes through. Thank you for calling Street Fight. What are your pronouns?
They, them. This is Lucian.
Lucian!
Hey, Lucian. How's it going?
We know you.
Yes. Hello. How is everyone tonight?
Great. I love that Brett went to you first so that it can sound like we stacked the phones. I'm kidding. He's taking a dab right now, so that was a low one there. How you doing, Lucian?
I'm doing well. I'm glad that I was able to call in. I keep saying I'm going to call in for like the last 3 weeks and just haven't done it.
Well, you did it. How's the abortion business going?
It's going great, minus I work at an abortion clinic that has clinics all across the East Coast. We have one in Connecticut, 2 in Pennsylvania, 1 in Jersey, and 1 in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
So,
Yeah. I mean,
so we're pretty involved in everything that's going on down there.
you think you're going down there?
Well, I'm going down in August for the DSA event, and then we're going to look into maybe doing some other stuff with the clinic. But I was referring to, like, all the laws that Ohio just passed, the one that's going into effect in I think it's like 60 days now that they're going to try to put it in.
Yeah.
Georgia just passed another heartbeat law. Alabama's on its way for passing another one as well.
Well, let me say,
So-
I'm going to say something real quick. I might know some other people that are going to be in Atlanta during that DSA convention weekend, maybe doing like a huge show with some other people. But Lucian, you're always, yeah, we'll take care of you. But anyway, yeah, the Ohio thing has been, I'm so shitty because I don't know what actions are being taken yet. I think I kind of expect Brett to tell me when abortion stuff is going on, which is totally unfair to him because, it's my job to pay attention too. And I don't know what's going on here. What is in Atlanta, like what is the what's the thing that's going on down, like what are you headed down there for? Like are there protests or anything? Is there a place that people can check to see what's going on?
It's not necessarily a protest. It's just that so with the South already being a hostile environment for abortion, a lot of people were traveling to Georgia because there's a lot of clinics in Atlanta. And now with Georgia trying to pass the law where after 6 weeks, once a fetal heartbeat is detected, abortion would be illegal. They're also trying to criminalize people traveling out of the state to have abortions.
Oh God.
With Georgia, they're also looking into, I think same thing with Ohio, where if somebody miscarries, they would also be charged with like murder. So yeah, there's a lot of extra things in here. I know Brett shared with the Ohio bill the fact that if somebody has an ectopic pregnancy, which is a pregnancy outside of the uterus, that if they did not try to implant it into the uterus, it would be considered an abortion and thus illegal.
And that's sorry, go ahead. You can explain better than I can.
Yeah, with that process, it doesn't work. It's not something that's viable, that happens. So they're jumping through a bunch of hoops to try to make it so things that actually don't work would get around their own bullshit that they've created.
Yeah, I mean that is doing surgery on somebody and doing a kind of hack made up fantasy with somebody's body just to go along with like their religious agenda. That they were fighting for the life of that piece of cell matter, or whatever is calling them to do this. But they're very successful right now. And I don't know what to tell people to do except for get out there and start volunteering, start marching now. It's already too late, but it's shocking how quickly it's happening.
Yeah, I know a book recently published called What to Do in a Post-Roe America, I believe it's what it's called. And it has a lot of things for like how people can get involved if Roe gets, repealed and we end up in a place where abortion is illegal again. As for getting involved right now, there's the fact that obviously becoming a clinic escort is super important. I cannot stress enough that it might seem like, oh, you're just walking somebody into the abortion clinic, but you're there for that person's emotional support. You're showing them that they're not alone. Like, clinic escorts do way more than I think people realize they do. And then there's always donating to abortion funds, and abortion funds are the people who put money into patients' hands so that they can afford their abortions, whether it's traveling out of state or in state.
Yeah, and I kind of explained to Brian, I think a week or two ago, that it's ramped up. I've been, my kind of strategy for it is I do it about once a month, so that way I don't get burnt out. But we have like new shifts coming on because it's increasing as like they gain momentum. So I'm now doing it like every 2 weeks is what I'm going to go up to now. And there's now a guy with a megaphone out there that's yelling at us the entire time. I'm talking about like 2 hours of like harassment and, pointed attacks on me and like who I am, arguing with the people that are coming in and out of the place. And it's absolute pandemonium. And this they're a complete nuisance. And the police can do absolutely nothing about it.
Yeah, even at our clinic in Jersey, which is generally the protesters are just quietly praying with their rosaries out front, we've noticed an increase. We have way more protesters now. They're becoming way more aggressive with not just the patients, but the employees. Like, they're yelling at us, like, when we're trying to get into work, like, oh, we can get you a job that you're not going to be ashamed of. Just yelling at our security guards. They try to put their toes up against the clinic's, like, lawn as to taunt us, be like, one of those, like, little kids, see, we're not touching you, we're not touching you, we're not touching you, just to see how far they can get.
Yeah. Now, have you had in your area? Have you had any successful campaigns with like the anti-women's clinic? Has there been any time or effort put towards that?
What do you mean? Could you?
I'm sorry.
not sure if that's something we have.
I'm sorry. We have when we did a show in Pittsburgh. I'm going to try to salvage the audio because the video wasn't the best. But we did a show in Pittsburgh, and there was a few, from what I understood, a few DSA chapters around the country that were doing protests against the like fake women's clinics that pop up near
the crisis pregnancy centers.
crisis pregnancy centers, and they were actually able to get some of them shut down.
So we do have one with our Jersey clinic. It's a little bit down the road. I know as our organization as a whole, at least in Connecticut, has been working on getting bills passed that CPCs have to label themselves that they are not medical facilities very clearly, because our clinic is literally a stone's throw from a CPC. Like, the doors face each other.
Oh, we've got two of them there. We've got one across the street from both sides.
It's ridiculous, and they share like so the name will be like one thing off.
Yeah, and now they've some of the protesters started wearing the vests that are the same color blue as our escort vests, and they started saying like, I'm a trained woman's advocate. Like, ma'am, I can help you. I'm a trained woman's advocate. They keep saying that when they get out of the car.
Like, what?
Yeah,
I don't.
The vest thing is ridiculous. I posted about that on not too long ago because they started doing that here, and we had to change our vests so that we can distinguish ourselves from them again.
I don't get why. I know why they're allowed to do it, and if they're not allowed to do it, we're not allowed to do it, sort of thing. But like, we never are that. We're not deceptive when we do our things out there. Everybody whenever I've been, I mean, most of the marches I've been to have either been like for refugees or for the airplane thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Or things like that. Just, there hasn't been a ton of abortion like actions. When I go to them,
they packed the courthouse a couple times recently.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I not that I've been to or no, but I go to a lot of protests, and I've been to a lot, and like, it's always like the people are very clear about who they are and what they're there for. And I think this like deceptive thing is so, I mean, they're just sick people, man. Like, I know they think they're doing the right thing or whatever, but the way that they lie is so gross to me. You know, it's the lying
really
and the
bad.
disguises and stuff like that. It's like, if they were standing outside because, you know, whatever their brain thinks is happening in there, if they're standing outside and they're being honest about who they are and what they're saying, that's one thing. But trying to disguise yourself and trying to like intercept people on their way to doing something that maybe they're like, they're vulnerable. They're just vulnerable people going to do a thing. And it just, I don't know. I can't, I don't know what the answer is or what the solution is, but it's gross that it had. Like, when I first heard about those clinics, whatever those other weird across the street clinics were, I couldn't believe that like a landlord would rent to them. And we don't bother them at all. There's not leftists standing outside of their places, you know? So I wish there were.
I think the worst thing with, but I think the worst thing with crisis pregnancy centers is they are actually partially government funded.
Oh, really?
Like,
oh, wow.
It's not just like, it's not just some big religious thing. There's also government funds that go into those.
Oh, fuck the government.
And then, yeah, recently we had a bunch of protesters in Philly because there was a senator who was yelling at some of the anti-choice protesters out front, and it became a big thing. And I mean, like, hundreds of people outside of a Planned Parenthood, and it's everything that they say is based on lies. Like, they'll harass people coming out like, oh, did you take the abortion pill? We can reverse it, which isn't a thing you can do. Same thing with the implanting of the ectopic pregnancies. It's just all based on lies. There's nothing they say that has any truth in it.
Yeah, we have the sign that this one couple carries, says abortion reversal pills, we can help you, act fast, and then it has like a phone number. Very weird.
Yeah, and it's all it is the reversal is they give you a super high dose of progesterone, which is basically just they try to give you a huge dose of birth control. It's like that doesn't do anything.
Very weird.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, I can't. It sucks. I don't know. I don't even know how to like deal with it in my mind, even like, let alone like go out and do something about it. It's like raising money feels like almost not enough.
I mean,
anymore.
especially, if you are in these smaller places that, you know, I mean, I am in a shithead congressman's district. Like, my guy is somebody that, you know, definitely, I need to make sure that a fucking Republican doesn't get in there. There's a risk, you know. Because they use it. I think that's what's so frustrating is that they accuse us so much of treading on their lifestyles when we simply just want to make our own decisions, and they stop us at every possible chance because we're not following along with their fucking program, you know?
Mm-hmm, yeah, it's all about control. It's all about controlling someone else's bodily autonomy.
Yeah, and it's so fucking smug. They're so smug and are so arrogant. They're out there, you know, believing all this shit that they're sent by some great creator and there's like destiny for them to come out here and save kids or something. They're fucking awful people. They're just so arrogant. It pisses me off when I'm out there sometimes. It's so hard not to just get into fucking fights with them sometimes.
Yeah, one thing I tell people, it's like that's what they want, though, is they want an excuse to be like, see, look at how bad the other side is.
Oh, yeah.
As shitty as it is to not yell at them, yelling at them isn't going to stop them from doing what they're doing, so you should put your energy elsewhere.
Yeah, they bust their live stream out very quickly. They have Facebook groups just like the Street Fighters group, and they just talk about being persecuted by the fucking left all day long and how, you know, these you know, Soros, these people that are funded by Soros are killing babies and shit, and they live in their little cocoon and fund more of their angry hatred and bullshit. And you just give them more fuel when you go after them like that.
Yep.
Well, Lucian, but before we let you go, we don't want to make you just talk about abortion. Tell these people a good My Chemical Romance song to listen to.
Heaven Help Us or Bury Me in Black.
I'm a big fan. I actually went through a phase. That's how I found out Lucian is a big fan of My Chemical Romance, is that I went through a weird phase where, like, I did not like them when they came out. I probably could have been quoted as saying, oh, all these dumb idiots are listening to My Chemical Romance, but I went back and listened to them and couldn't believe how great they were. But I didn't want you to only have to talk about bummer stuff, right? Even though, you know, a lot of that music's a bummer too. I'm just saying. Gerard Way's kind of a bummer at times.
In a good way.
Do you think they're... and I want to tell you this because I've never...
In an honest way, right?
Yeah.
Like a Memento Mori way.
Right. And I've never been able to tell Lucian this on the phone. And I told Brett that I've said this to you online. I remember when the day we talked about My Chemical Romance and how they're broke up, and you were like, I'm never going to see them in my life. I will have never got to see them. I'm going to make a promise to you. You're definitely going to see them. They will get back together, and they will do a reunion tour.
Yeah.
Just give it time. I've seen it happen too many times.
Very rarely.
No. I don't know. We'll see. There will always be that thread of hope for me to hold out, but
Guns N' Roses are touring together
Yeah.
right now. Axl Rose and Slash are on the same tour together right now. And that was something that, like, people were like, that's never going to happen. So it's going to happen. I mean, the thing is about this.
Original Misfits are touring again, right?
Yeah. After me and Brett started doing live stuff, it does, like, it is just like, there is, if there is money to do a live thing, like, if you're Gerard Way, you're walking around all the time thinking, like, well, now, if I ever need money, there's this one thing I can do and make a whole ton of it right now. And that's like how these guys, that's how it ends up happening, man. Like somebody wants a pool, they got to get money. Oh, check it out. I know that people hate to hear that these guys do it for the money, but like people have to live. And
It doesn't hurt, that's for sure.
it helps, and it is a lot. Those guys, I mean, like, because music makes people no money now. From what I understand, you have to tour and sell stuff. Like, so they're not like, I mean, you know, collecting Spotify royalties isn't like a real good long-term investment
Nothing.
thing.
Oh, yeah, no. It's awful.
Well, thanks for calling, Lucian. It's great to hear from you, and especially on the ABCD show.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully I'll be trying to call in more, but we'll see.
Yeah. We'll get you in. Peace.
All right. All right.
All right. Good first call. Let's see.
Them
I
red
would say
strains. Woo.
I know that the Facebook page Feminist Flag Corps in Ohio does a lot of organizing around women's issues in town. They're a good place to start if you haven't looked up them. That's where I would go with.
I'm on there right now looking for it. Maybe I could like a Facebook page that's not a disgusting person.
Sure. So let's see who's on the queue next here. Thank you for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, is this me?
It's you.
Yeah, what's your pronouns?
Hey. She, her.
All
Okay. All right.
Who
What's
we talking
up?
to?
How's it going tonight?
Pass the
That's
test.
pretty good. My name is Dana.
What is it? I'm sorry, we didn't catch it.
Oh, it's going pretty good. My name is Dana.
What's up, Dana? How are
Dana.
you tonight?
Great name.
Thanks. I picked it myself.
How cool is that? Can I ask you?
Dude, I was like a '90s kid. I just remember Dana's are very like to the point and tough. Like,
Okay.
Dana's like get it done.
I guess I can ask you. How cool is it that you do get to like, you get to like, is that one of the big bonuses? Is like I get to pick my fucking name. You know, like what am I? And how did you pick Dana?
I mean, I've always kind of been wedded to, like, the first initial last name. Like, I've used that for everything. So I just kept that. And then, I don't know, basically, I've been, like, playing, like, video games with, like, the female character. Like, my whole life was constantly picking, like, a new name. And then it just, like, it popped into the top of my head when I joined the Street Fight Discord, actually. And it's just kind of stuck.
Oh, that's. I mean, hey, you know that. I mean, like it's wild. Like I remember when I was a kid. Actually, I'll say this: when I played Mortal Kombat, I was Sonya Blade all the time. That was my main fucking character. But it was because she had this move that would fuck people up, like that took off like a quarter of the power. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so you just sort of did you like? I don't know. You said you picked the female characters in the video games. Like, did you know from the beginning, like when you were playing, that like, did you just think it was a subconscious choice, or, you know, what was it? Go ahead.
It was a conscious choice, but it was like I just didn't like being the male character in a way. I didn't really know why.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, I always ask, like, I'm always like, I gotta ask. I always feel weird asking like questions, you know?
Yeah.
But then most people are so. That's the thing when you said when somebody fucks up, it's like most people are so nice,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I also like the woman character in the games because they're usually faster, and I'm more of like a hyperactive player, and so I like to be jumping and swinging all the time.
Okay.
When I play my video games.
Shiva was not fast though.
Shiva?
8-armed woman.
Oh, yes. No,
Mortal
I was
Kombat?
never a Shiva user.
Jason was. Jason just went like this.
Just grab you.
So what's going on tonight? What's up?
Nothing's really going on tonight. I was just excited to call in for the ABCD show.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to have. I'm like really happy so far. We're 2 calls in. There's no dudes and no cis dudes and no boyfriends taking the phones out of a girlfriend's hand. And I didn't have to have my wife call yet.
Right. Yeah, we're doing great so far.
Yeah, that's the list. The listeners are such good people.
Yeah, the communities are great. I had a couple things I actually wanted to mention. One was following up on the abortion thing.
Okay.
So I live in Canada, and like abortion is like totally legal here, like up until like viability, I think. However, a big thing is like access to abortion. So I live in a city where all of the old people move to and hang Confederate flags. It's awful.
In Canada?
Yeah. Yeah. There's 2 people I know within 2 blocks of my apartment who have Confederate flags.
That's not even like they aren't even part of that thing. That's not even fair.
Yeah, it's just white supremacy.
Yeah, I wonder if they say it's heritage. I would love it. I wish I could go up there and ask your neighbors why they have a because like I gotta get the non-racist reason for that.
Explain yourself real quick.
Could you please give me the because they would never tell you it's fucking racist.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
So like the people I know that have them, because we're in Ohio.
It's about freedom.
Yeah, the people I know who have had them because we're in Ohio have often said like, "Oh, it's history." It's just, like I like history. I'm a big fan of
states'
history.
rights guys.
Yeah.
I think they had the right to leave the United States if they wanted to.
Yeah, but in Canada, there's just they should be illegal in Canada. I imagine they would be illegal in Canada, right? Like they can can outlaw shit up there, like if they want to.
Not that I know of. But anyway, it was about the abortion thing. So I have a close friend of mine who has like some friends within the like medical industry in this city, and so most, if not all, of the doctors who currently work here also are employed at the hospital. The hospital is privately owned because we have public insurance, not public health care. And the hospital outlaws their doctors from doing abortion.
Oh,
So there's just
fuck.
there's like no way to get one here.
And this is just by some business decree, no law.
Yeah.
Fucking, that's wild.
I mean, they're doing they're really.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, well, I
They
would
use
say
every
they're-
possible thing they can.
Yeah, and the government works for them.
Yeah.
That's the thing you never think about is like, well, maybe we're anarchists because like the government doesn't work for us. Like the way we want the government to work, it doesn't work. It only works for them.
Right.
Like it always works for them. They can get the government to do anything they want it to do.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, thanks for calling in. We appreciate it.
Yeah, Chris, thanks.
Yeah.
It was nice talking to you guys.
Yeah, you too.
Nice talking to you too. That shit. That is the corporations will always jump in.
Yeah, of course.
You know, you got the pharmacists who were just like, I'm not giving you plan B.
Yeah.
I'm against it. And it's like, motherfucker, okay.
Right.
I mean, I'm against serving food.
You don't have to touch it. I'll come around back and grab it.
Yeah. When you were like, you're like, I don't like serving food to racists, but you know what? When I work at a restaurant, I got to serve food to fucking racists.
Yeah.
They make me fucking do it. They
Right.
come in there, they act racist, and I have to serve them the food.
Yeah.
So you got to give me what I want. You
Right,
know?
right.
If you look at me as vile as I look at a racist, then, you know,
Yeah.
I deserve it.
Absolutely.
I deserve it.
Yeah, I wanted to let everybody know calling in as well. You don't have to like explain who you are, or your existence, or anything like that.
Oh,
You're
geez.
welcome to.
Now I'm bad.
You're welcome to just share street fight stories. Street fight mom stories too would be interesting. If you got a street fight mama that doesn't listen but has some stories, that would be good as well. And then, of course, any of the job shit, you know.
Again, somebody in the chat said my high school in Colorado flew the Confederate flag. There's a part of me that, like, well,
Wow.
not a part of me, but there are people.
Colorado
Yeah,
claiming?
they always get. That's the thing. Like, I think there are times where that thing flies, where the person that's flying it genuinely believes that they're not racist and that they're just a history buff. You know what I mean? And I think if it's flying at a school, you got a good chance of it being one of the fucking dumbass history teachers that's just like, well, you know, Colorado's cowboy country.
They get a charge out of it, right? That's why they're doing it.
That's like I told you when we talked about my daughter's teacher saying the N-word.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
They did it. They
Well,
chose
this
that
is a
passage.
history word.
They chose that passage.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it's just a history word. It's just a history flag. Why also bent out of shape about a history flag?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, but when they explain to you their problem with the goddamn history flag, you won't listen for like 2 seconds. Like, you won't even give them the time of day to hear how the flag makes them feel. And again, if you're a fucking history teacher that really just fucking loves history, then maybe just listen to the people who feel historically have strong feelings about that fucking flag. Are you out here? Are we all out here to hurt each other's feelings? Is that the goal?
Right.
Is everybody, is being me, is being Brian, is everything that being Brian is about hurting somebody else's feelings?
Being the most offensive to somebody else's ideals as possible.
Right. Even if we're talking about conservatives. I mean, I love fucking offending conservatives. I love it. But I don't gear my entire... Well, my life is pretty offensive. No, actually, no. I'll say this. My life is not actually offensive to conservatives. But I'm saying, some of the things I say are offensive to conservatives. But that's not the way... I don't, live my life that way. And I'm open to a discussion about some of the things I say. You know, I get DMs. I get a little smattering, a sprinkling of DMs from people who say, hey, do you think maybe sometime you could say not all the troops are bad? And I'll say, well, no, probably not. But it's not that I believe that all the troops are bad. I think you all have heard me on What a Hell of a Way to Die, talking to Francis. I have had people that have been in the military on the third show and talk to them. I watch fucking movies where people kill each other all the time and they're in the military. Here's the fucking thing. I don't think that I need to defend them. I don't think that it's there are people all over the place defending the troops, right? That is, the whole world is out there defending the troops. The whole world is out there defending the cops. There's this small percentage of people who aren't. I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean? I'll be the criticism voice. I'll be the negative voice in that department. I don't feel like I have to. I don't feel like it's on me to make those people feel comfortable. You know, they feel comfortable. They're comfortable in 99% of situations.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know?
For sure.
And that's just, I don't get the impulse to always feel like you have to hurt somebody or to always feel like somebody needs to be hurting from the thing you say. I think that, I think it's fun to offend people. And I think a lot of people have a lot of fun doing it, but just, it shouldn't be your thing, man. Don't make it your thing. Don't, if the Confederate flag, if some guy's flying a Confederate flag and you tell him how you feel and he doesn't take it down, he's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
You know, you do whatever you want to that guy. I don't fucking give a shit.
Okay.
I don't know. There is this thing out there of my existence
Yeah.
needs to, there is a thing out there and it's a lot of white dudes, right? It's people like me or people like you. Maybe I'm not speaking for you, Brett, but people like me who have been raised and come up to believe that our existence needs to oppose another thing. It needs to offend and hurt and bother another thing. And I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be somebody like that. That's why when you say something about, hey, if somebody says they're offended by a thing you say, if somebody says they're offended by the word turd burglar, like you said, then it's like, oh, okay. Oh, I don't want to hurt your feelings. I'm not going to use that word. I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want anybody to feel unsafe around me or uncomfortable around me. I'm not going to use that fucking word anymore.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But like, there are a lot of people who think, well, I have to fucking say that because you know what? If I let them take that away from me, then like what else
I'm living
am I going to do?
restricted.
Yeah.
I can't be they won't let me be homophobic anymore.
Yeah. So I guess that was a rant.
And it is. And when I kept thinking about what makes me so mad is that I do respect these people's right to use their magical brain energy and their special friend in the sky to save little souls that are being deleted at the fucking Planned Parenthood. But like, they use the law to restrict us from living how we want. And they act like, you know, they don't have to face any sort of criticism. They don't have to face any sort of diversity in their fucking lives. And yet they make laws as if they're being overran by, you know, Islam in their rural fucking houses and shit.
Like
you know?
ISIS is gonna show up to fucking Groveport.
Yeah, and they make laws based upon how they think the city is. Me and you live in the city, and they sit on the outside and they think that we're dodging bullets all night long.
Oh,
I know. Let's get on the phone here.
Or that the city's not like mostly white dudes.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight? Well, hold on. You drop? Yeah, how's it going?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Who dis?
Hey, this is Lindsay.
Lindsay!
Oh, the best.
You made her wait on hold.
I didn't know she was calling.
SMH. I'm sick.
Your VIP list.
Okay.
Sick to my stomach,
I was
Lindsay.
listening in.
My DMs aren't
No, it's
working.
all right, I'm listening.
My DMs aren't working on Twitter again. That when
not?
Yeah, so we announced the ABCD show, and I might have to go, you know, get some contact some people. And what did they do? They shut my damn DMs down again.
Oh, that's happening to a lot of people lately.
It happened to me not too long ago. It's a nightmare. It means you have to look at the main timeline all day.
They're stifling leftist
That's
organizing.
the worst part about Twitter.
I know. The DMs is the place to be.
Yeah.
Your group chat where you can make fun of somebody for misspelling something.
Oh God, yeah. Like, did you see this shit? There's a group chat I'm in. Did you all see the thing about people not washing their legs? I don't want to get into that too much, but
I did see a little bit of it.
Lindsay, I don't wash my legs, and I'm just going to tell you that right now on the phone.
look, man, Street Fight's not a place to judge, so
Thank you.
I'm cool with it.
I wash. I wash my. I've seen this talked about. I'm not really paying much attention to it. You guys know I hate having a body. I wash my beans, my armpits, and my face and my head, and the rest of it, the water drips down there. I figure it's going to be fine.
No feet?
Why? It gets
My
there.
experience is a little different.
What?
But that's like the least shocking thing anyone said on this show. Probably okay.
I mean, people that take bath. Well, see, and my wife is going to get mad about this when she listens, but I think people that take baths are crazy people. Like, it's such an abnormal thing to do. And I'm sorry if you have to do it for some reason. I apologize, but taking a bath takes too long. It's a crazy thing to do, in my opinion. But I think if I took a bath, I would wash my legs.
You kind of have to, yeah. I can't do baths, but
God, my wife is like, my wife makes me take a picture of the bathtub every time we check into a hotel room on tour so she can get jealous. Oh, I love that bathtub. Well, I'd love to take a bath in there.
I think you have to take a shower before you take a bath, because otherwise you're just like sitting in your own soup.
I don't believe in the sitting in your own soup thing because we get in pools all the time.
Nah, man, they got filters there. My wife talked me into it because she loves them, and I was so grossed out by it.
I'm not grossed out by anything, by the way. Here's what I would do if somebody gave me what for $100. Brett could take a bath, get out, and then I would get in the tub after he was done. If you put $100 in my PayPal, I will do that. That's just the thing.
That's
You
a,
can
that's a
shave.
special type of brother.
You can shave in there, dude. I'd do it. Jason, I'd do it for Jason. Jason, if you took a bath right now in this bathtub down here and got out of the bathtub, I would get in when you were done. You leave the room. I'm not going to waste water. I'll get in there. I'll sit for 30 seconds.
Folks,
that's $100. And not only that, I'm not even saying I'll do it one time. However many times you want to give me $100, I will do that. I'm not grossed out by it.
Hey, Brian, you're so cheap. You could fill your bath water. You could fill your bath up on the first of the month and just leave it there until the end of the month and then drain it.
Okay. Well, I shower. I would shower after doing that. I'm just saying, like, when people say I don't want to sit in my own soupy water, I'm like, forget about it. You know, the bathtub's fine.
Hey, man, the dingleberries get lost in the pool.
I'll
But
get
when
in
you're
there,
in that bath,
buddy. Well, $100. Patreon comes in on the 2nd every month. Okay.
Okay.
You want to put $100? First, you have to pay me Street Fight money.
Yeah.
But if a listener out there wants to pony up $100 and talk Brett into taking a bath first, I'll fucking do it. But you got to talk.
The Facebook group's gonna raise that money.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, I'll fucking, like I said, raise $300 and I'll get in Jason's bathwater, Jacob's bathwater, and Brett's bathwater.
You could get more, dude. Why are you adding shit on? You don't know how to negotiate at all. You're like going all in.
What? $300?
Fuck, man. For all that dirty bath water?
It's not a big fucking deal, dude.
You're
It's
just
not
like a
big
hog
deal.
wallowing in slop now.
No, well, okay. I'm not, well, it's not like a joy. I'm not like a pervert or anything for it.
You're excited. You're signing up for a lot of
I'm
dirty
signing up
bath
for
water.
$300.
You've got a whole fucking afternoon of dirty bath water ahead of you.
But, and then that night, I'm going to go to Best Buy and buy a Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
I'm just saying, $100, man. You know, it's out there. Hey, it's
Folks,
out
he'll
there.
do anything for money, folks.
No, I won't do anything for money. There's a lot of things I won't do for money, but this bathwater thing, it's time to put soupy bathwater to bed. This whole thing about the bathwater being soupy and gross, it's time to put that to bed. Just like it is about eating food off the floor. Just like it is about fingernails. It's time to put all that stuff to bed, and I'm going to be the guy that does it. Hi, Lindsay. How are you tonight?
How clean does Brett have to be before he gets in the tub? Is this like Brett has just come back from the gym? Brett's had like the casual day hanging out at home. Like, how gross is he before he gets in the tub?
I'll fucking tell you what he can do. I'll tell you what he can do. One night when we do a live show on this tour in the desert, we'll come back to the hotel and Brett will take a bath and I will get in the Brett bath water. In the desert after a live show. And I don't know if people know this, but when you stand on stage, your balls just sweat. Like nothing is ever in the world. Like that whole area of your body is just burning hot.
Yeah. We should do like Rub-a-Dub-Dub, 2 men in a tub.
See, I'd put on
I think that'd be
trunks.
cute, yeah.
I would put on trunks. I'm not getting naked in front of you.
Okay.
It's just never going to happen.
Okay.
I apologize.
It's fine.
I mean, I one time had to walk out of the bathroom with a towel on to get something. I forgot something in the room, and I was like, this is the worst experience of my entire life. There's never been a worse thing. I don't even like being naked in front of my wife.
It's fine.
But
it wasn't that memorable.
If we put on swimming trunks, I will get in a bathtub with Brett. I would sit Rub-a-Dub-Dub 2 men in the tub with Brett and Jason and Jake and fucking Katie and Steven. We'll fly Steven out. You know, the whole Street Fight organization just sitting in a tub together, washing up. I'll get one of those scrub brushes and a bath cap.
So now this has turned into setting a world record for the world's biggest Rub-a-Dub-Dub.
This is just something I'm so like, we are so clean these days. Everybody wants this antiseptic environment.
I go like 4 days sometimes, and I'll run and then just push through it and let it dry on me, and then just be like, fuck it.
Oh, I'm wearing clothes that I walked in the rain in today. I was soaking wet earlier in these same clothes. I just didn't change. I was like, fuck it, I don't care. You know? It's not that bad, right? It's not gross. Nothing's gross. This all comes from the earth, Lindsay.
I was surprised.
It all comes
I was
from the
fucking
earth.
grossed out by myself when I took a bath. It looked like a damn oatmeal bath. I felt like I had chicken pox again.
I don't like looking at the chat while we're doing the show, but now I have to go look at the chat mainly because I want to see if I'm going to make $100.
You
got-
will immediately.
You got to split that money too, man.
No, I ain't splitting. I'm not giving you money so I can sit in your bath.
I'm going to withhold my labor then.
Oh, God, Brett. Well, hey, if it doesn't happen, okay, here's what we're going to do. $120, and I will give Brett $20. Brett is a nice, fat $20 bill. And Alexander Hamilton, I believe, is on the 20.
Yeah,
I
I'll just
think
buy a
that's
bath
wrong.
bomb with it.
Ew. Come on. No bath bombs, okay?
Well, that would be an improvement.
To you. I've never been in a tub with a bath bomb. I don't even know what it is. I'm going to be honest with you. So what's been going on with you lately, Lindsay?
So I've got a story. So hopefully I don't think anyone from work would listen to this, but it's a work story. So I work at a medical clinic. We'll say that much. We have nurses right now who, for the last couple of months, have been trying to unionize, which is awesome. But there's been a ton of pushback from the higher ups, and we're kind of this we really tout ourselves as this progressive organization, but you kind of start to learn that doesn't really mean when it comes to the rights that people have. And so the nurses it's kind of a long story, but they've been trying to unionize for months and months and months, and they've just been getting turned down. It's been they've been really talked down to and really insulted. So this last week was Nurses Week. And they tell them, we're going to have this big breakfast for you guys. It's going to be 8 a.m. You're going to come in early. We're going to have this really nice breakfast. And it's, Chicago's a big city. So people came up from all the way from the south side. It took them an hour. People got up early. They dressed nice. They thought they were getting this really nice breakfast. And they get there and it's a drug rep breakfast. So a drug rep came, brought breakfast, and they had to listen to a presentation.
Uh-huh.
And so they didn't really get anything. It was just not this welcome, we appreciate you breakfast. It was just
a fucking bagel.
Hey, come sit and yeah. But it was the only reason they brought it. It's when companies will come in and they do a presentation.
Yeah, yeah.
Sit and listen to their presentation, and they're oh, here, by the way, here's some food.
Yeah, we want to
So
sell.
that's what they're
They want to sell you Aflac,
Yeah.
and they pick up the Panera Danish sampler on the way over.
Yeah, and they made them listen. It was not a breakfast where they got to do anything. They had to listen to a presentation, and it was they were at work. But the nurse who told me about it was really, really mad. It's one that I work with a lot, and she's I'm telling everybody, so feel free to tell whoever you want. And I was well, can I call into my friend's live show and talk about it? And she's yeah, tell them. So.
What was this the
Yeah.
strike? Can I ask, was this the strike where the woman said that nurses mostly just play cards?
No, that's totally different. Ours, they're just they're. No, who's that? That was a.
I had it in the dock for 2 weeks. And then I didn't get to it on any show. I didn't get to it on the show, so I deleted it, but I can get it up in just a second. It was a politician. So I go to the shopping one instead of the real one. But it was a politician, and she said, these nurses, okay, here it is. Here we are. I'll have it in just a second. I'm sorry about this. I don't know many nurses, but I saw a state senator on Washington who last week suggested that nurses probably play cards for a considerable amount of the day.
Oof.
Has now said she would shadow a nurse for 12 hours. So she's going to shadow a nurse now. Because, they were these nurses are probably trying to go on strike or something like that and trying to get higher wages. And she was oh, but the thing you don't know about these nurses is they just play cards all day.
See, and this is why the left needs to get together, because if we did have the type of power that the right does, we could set up a court system where if you say some shit like that, you're forced to shadow a person that you talk shit about their job.
Yeah. I mean, that was a wild one to me because I sort of feel nurses are one group of people Nurses are like teachers in that way that like they are people that we know are underpaid and overworked. We all know for a fact that nurses and like
it's a woman's, and it's typically woman's work. And talk about shows like Dirty Jobs. Like they don't go and watch women clean up all these gross wounds and take care of all these fucking people and do it 3 12s in a row and all of the outrageous things that are demanded of them.
Because and they move to the left. They'd have to move to the left if they saw some of that. They'd see like so much of the inequality that happens, especially in things like the healthcare system, where like Mike Rowe couldn't go be a social worker for a day. Like,
oh God, yeah, that's a dirty job for sure. Yeah.
I said this about because we talked about this last week on the Basement Show that like I would love to do a reality show where I go and have to work at McDonald's or something like that. Which the fact is, I've worked at McDonald's. I've done a lot of these jobs, but like where people would see a day of something like this. But then I sort of rethought it and was like, well, I would actually like to send a hidden camera with an employee at McDonald's and see what a day looks like actually just working at that job, because you're going to get the real shit in that case. And somebody was like, oh, yeah, that just sounds like Dirty Jobs. And I said, but Mike Rowe doesn't respect people who work at McDonald's. He doesn't respect people with service jobs or nurses or any of those people. He doesn't respect them.
He has a fucked up version of respect in his mind where he thinks that somebody should be groveling for $6.50 an hour and never complain about the conditions that they're put in and the terrible company.
But his idea of who should be making more, like guys that
he's
clean
one of those, like,
shit out of the turd
I'll tell you
pipes.
what, if you're going to be a hamburger flipper, you better be the best damn hamburger flipper that ever did it. He's
right, but I don't even think he respects you if you do service work.
Sure.
He never mentions, he tells people don't end up in the service industry.
That's true.
Like, we're not always going to need people to do service industry jobs, or we're always going to need nurses. I know in Columbus, right about the time I started kind of not paying attention to, actually, probably at the most idiotic time of my life when I was watching the local news every night. Like, that was, like, my politics. I was like, I'm like a political guy. I don't really like this politics stuff. I want to watch the local news every night. And I would watch the Fox 28 News with Gabe Spiegel and Yolanda Harris on there. And, like, they don't talk about that shit. They kind of, like, that kind of stuff doesn't even come up in that kind of news. You know what they're talking about raising money. I can see Brett's smiling now, and I think it's because they're talking about raising the money.
Yeah, they now want to get me like a Bikram yoga session before, which does sweeten the pot a little bit.
They did want me. Somebody said
there's going to be like an oil slick on
the
top
money
of the
has
water.
to go to a charity, and I said the money is going to a charity called a Nintendo Switch for me. That's the charity. I need one.
Oh man. So where does that leave? Like, so where's the union at now? Are they still just fighting to get recognition? Did that help invigorate anybody? Like, fuck these people?
I think so, but I think this was back in maybe more like the winter or like the fall. Like, they finally kind of yielded. They're like, fine, we'll like recognize you, but like they don't have any collective bargaining agreements. Like, they don't get maternity leave right now, like, or parental leave, because we're like, I don't want to give too much away about where I work, but so like a lot of these basic things that they don't provide, and it's just like kind of the epitome of this like kind of liberal thing where it's like, well, look at this diverse organization and look at these like diverse populations we serve, but like also we don't pay everybody $15 an hour, and also we're like fighting to the death, like this nurses union. Like, there's some stuff I probably can't say on air necessarily that's taken place, and it's just kind of fucked. We don't know, but they have a lot of people on their side, and like there are some local politicians here who have mentioned it, some aldermen. So that's like kind of exciting, and I think a lot of people in the organization have voiced their support. So if there's ever anything like a strike, there are going to be a lot of us who are going to be probably striking with them, or like not crossing picket line, obviously. So I think they kind of know that. So like it's kind of like I think the people in charge are a little more afraid of the nurses than the nurses are of them. But I guess we'll see. There's some tough people. Those nurses that I work with are really pretty amazing. So
Yeah,
I'm really proud of them. And
it's incredible what people can accomplish together.
yeah, it really is. And they've all just kind of stuck together on it, which is it's really, really cool to see. So I haven't always worked places like that.
Hell yeah. Lindsay, we want to make it back to Chicago, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
This year in 2019. Well, you know, we always like to have you up there with us too. We're big Lindsay fans. I don't want to say your last name. I don't want
I'm a
to get you in
big
trouble.
Street Fight fan.
Oh, thank you.
But y'all should come in like the summer before it gets like terrible.
Well,
I mean, that's pretty soon. But
So-
come when you can.
so we this is probably there is a wrestling show there on Labor Day weekend that could coax us back out, but we also we're going to a drug policy conference in November in St. Louis, and that
Oh, nice.
so Chicago in November probably don't get too bad yet, right? It was like 50 degrees,
No.
45 in November. November's my favorite month. Let's just get it all out on the table. November's a great month. It's 45 degrees the whole month, and it's gray. Wonderful month. Little bits of rain.
And about that, I know y'all probably have a lot of calls to take, but I also wanted to say someone a couple months ago mentioned going to the harm reduction conference.
That's where we're going.
Too. It was fucking awesome. Okay.
We're going in St. Louis. We're actually going to go. The main access points organization talked to us about it, and I was like, oh, yeah. I mean, you know, that's kind of my cause thing is drug harm reduction. And we're going to go, and you know what we're not going to do? We're not going to try to get drugs off of everybody there. That's one thing we're not going to do, probably. But we're going to do a show around there. And
You guys will love it. It's not super, like, I kind of work in the more clinical field. I thought it would be really clinical. It wasn't at all. You're just talking to people doing, like, their real work. Main access points were some people who talked, and they were, like, amazing.
they rock.
So,
sounds-
you guys are going to fucking love it.
Mostly
It's-
rowdy people, really.
It's so wild. The drug I'll say this about harm reduction people that I've met out on the roads and stuff like that. Out on the road, anytime we've met the harm reduction people, they are so God, what is the word? Like buttoned up. It's like not. They haven't been what I thought they would be. The people in Maine were like, they were like. I don't know how. Like they looked like people that might work in an office to me.
You thought so?
I did. The people in Maine, and they were so sweet. They were the nicest women, and I've been real shocked by a lot of the harm reduction people because like what they do is so fucking hard, and so the police hate them, the politicians hate them, and they're working with people. They're working with people that people hate. Like it's such a hard thing to do, and it's so hard to figure out how to do it. You know.
Yeah, the conference, what was cool, it was really centered on people who use drugs. So, like, a lot of the people who, like, gave presentations and were running it are like, yeah, I use, like, drugs. And they weren't just, they were talking about kind of, like, intravenous drugs and things like that. And it was really, like, normalized. They also have, like, a safe injection place, like, at the hotel that they set up where the conference was so people could, like, use somewhere safe, which is, like, pretty cool for, like, that is not like the conferences I've been to. Same, like, with what Brian was saying, like, very buttoned up. And it was really like kind of academic and strange, but this conference was really like the opposite of that.
I have to do this, Lindsay, because I do this every time. I have to recommend the Crackdown podcast if you haven't heard it yet. It's incredible. It's Garth Mullins, right? He's a Vancouver harm reduction advocate, and it's him and a group of people who all are drug users. And as an editorial staff, and they're doing sort of it's almost sounds like an NPR type show. It's great. It's like the drug war. It's basically them. They say no laws about us without us, and it's the drug war.
I like that.
Through the eyes of the
Abusers.
people actually in it. You know?
Some of them are on methadone, some of them are daily using, some of them, so it's all different levels.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thanks for calling in.
Cool.
We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, have a good night.
Where can we find you on Twitter?
Old Linds, OldLinds.
I tell you what, Old Linds, you still got it. The tweets have been great. I love them.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You guys are the best.
Have a good one.
Have a good one. Bye.
All right, I am solo dolo right now. Brian took a step away to pee inside of the hole in the basement, what we call the half bath. Let's see who's on the phone here next. We're going to go to break soon. I'm feeling a break a little bit. We're almost at that hour and a half mark. What's that?
We're at 90 minutes.
We are at 90 minutes. I'm going to take one more here, see who's on the line. Thank you for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to? Yeah, how's it going?
Hey, this is Joanna.
Hey, Joanna, how's your night going? Yeah, I can hear you all right.
Good. Great. So, I have a story to tell about the abortion clinic, but it's not about abortion per se, more of a small business tyrant than anything else.
Ooh, very interesting cross-section there.
Yes. All the fun, liberal, pro-women faces and always is, sunshine and abortion,
Right.
So pretty much 2 months ago, I got fired. Pretty much because I stood up to the owner for some racist bullshit that's been going on at the clinic. He's like old ass white doctor. Like I was in the civil rights movement and all this, and he used the N-word during a story in our meeting.
Oh no.
And we were like, yeah, no, you can't say that. And
Yeah.
his apology, he was like, well, it was a different time, and I was standing up with my brother, and I was like, yeah, but it's still not right for you to say that. Anyway.
Yeah, that's really weird. That's really weird for someone to reach back. Like, I mean, I still check out to 1968 standards at least. I mean, come on,
Yeah, we're like, yeah, you have to kind of evolve.
Sure, keep up with it a little bit.
Yeah, a little.
And it's
like literally like.
Yeah, I mean, then there's just so much digital ink spilled daily about this kind of stuff and how people feel oppressed that they can't say this anymore. And somehow this guy's oblivious.
Yeah,
that's funny.
And the worst thing is half the staff is minority women. Like we're either Hispanic or black, and
right.
the third are white.
Yeah.
Like we're like no.
Right.
Anyway, there was an incident that happened. That's aside from the point, but it kind of adds to this. There was an incident with this white lady that happened a year or so ago, who made an appointment over the phone, and she was given one of our doctors with a very Asian-sounding last name. And then she was like, "Oh, I would prefer an American Christian doctor."
Oh God!
Like, you're calling up the abortion clinic. Like, what the fuck do you think you're gonna get?
A Christian American doctor.
Yeah,
I mean, I knew a guy.
Okay.
I did weirdly. I knew. So there's a guy that I knew a very long time ago when I worked at the cable company that is like a dude that is a Nazi. Like I don't think he would call himself like a Nazi, but he's a white supremacist. Okay, and he used to go to an optometrist and would get mad. So he got mad because the optometrist they gave him was Jewish. So he asked for a different one, and they gave him an Indian guy, and he got mad about that. And it's like, dude, you don't get to pick the race of your eye doctor. And I was like, what's the difference? He's just checking your fucking eyes. What's he gonna do?
Right.
But obviously the whole thing is irrational. But I have seen the whole oh, goddamn doctor, it's a woman, and you're like, yeah, okay. My doctor's a woman. I don't never even. My doctor is a woman.
Women give better care.
Well, my doctor's a woman. I never even considered that it was not why that anybody would ever care about that. And I'm fucking 40 years old, and I don't. My daughter's kindergarten teacher was a dude, and parents would get weird about that.
Oh,
And
like
shit.
wonder what he was up to.
Yeah, like, why is he doing? And I'm like, what's his thing? You know, why is he a dude? And
Yeah.
they fucking moved his ass to administration. It's funny because at the time I was reading studies about dudes that teach elementary school and shit, and even high school. They get like raises and shit because people are like, well, he's a dude. He don't want to be around these kids.
Right.
He don't want to be dealing with these kids. Hey, give him a raise.
He's not
Make
built
him a
for He's
principal.
not built for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, let him punish the kids.
Happens to nurses too, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Like they'll end up in a minute. Like dudes will be like, cause like I love kids too, man. I would teach kindergarten. I fucking love kids. I mean, every time we're around them, I hang out with the kids probably more than most of the fucking adults. That's because I miss them. I have a 14-year-old, so it's different. But do you know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
It's not fucking weird that I love kids, and it wasn't weird that her teacher was a dude. And it's unfair to women to be like, you got to teach all the little kids.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to fucking. If a guy gets involved with that, it's weird, and it's like that's not fair to fucking anybody.
Yeah, we need.
man.
Yeah.
Patriarchy sucks.
So, it does. Well, this lady comes in. When she's checking in with a young black receptionist, she won't, like, hand her money. She puts it down. She won't take the paper from her, and she, like, puts it down. Her husband's like, and we're like, okay, that was weird. Then we're like, okay, well, maybe, it's an anomaly. So we're like, maybe she's just being weird and sad. And then she's like, well, can I get an American counselor? And we're like, this bitch is being racist.
Yeah.
Like, I know she needs an abortion. I know it's sad. But also, like, you shouldn't be allowed to treat our staff like shit.
Yeah, and like,
And, like,
I mean,
that's just,
yeah, you're like, it's just immediately requiring you to fit her definition of American. Like, y'all are American too. If you
exactly. Like, we're like,
go ahead.
so
Sorry.
you can, like, I understand, like, you want them to have these accommodations. But, like, she's being racist. It makes everybody uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Well, the staff let management know, and we're like, hey, we don't want to see this lady. Like, you need to see her away. And, like, the other thing, the other side of the abortion clinic is staff gets treated like shit so much by patients. Like,
That sucks.
we're dealing with angry women who don't want to be pregnant,
Yeah.
have money issues, and we literally get called names and cursed at. And, like, just offended and treated like shit. I've had pins and windows slammed at my face, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm just trying to help you.
Right.
But, like, and the thing is, like, oh, but they're a business, and they're not going to turn people away, even if we get treated like shit.
That's all. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
like, they try to imply all these new, like, groups and, like, cultural groups and, like, let us know so we can help you. And, the staff walked out because of this racist lady for a half a day, and, like, they talked about us, and then they were like, we're so sorry, and because the director and the medical director decided to still see her, even though we asked them not to. And it was like, well, thanks. You clearly don't give a fuck about your staff. That
Yeah.
you say is what makes this place so great, but then you treat us like shit and, like, don't really take into consideration our feelings about it because you're a business first.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think the will of y'all is more important. I mean, you shouldn't ever be disrespected for providing a service that someone needs, and that is like it's just coded racism. It's out loud saying like, I need a white person. I need a white person. I just and they're looking at you and they're asking you to fall in line. They're asking you because you know what they mean. And they're asking you to fall in line and just make things happen for them in the white way, and that they will not have a problem, and they can just get out of there. And totally unacceptable. I mean, I don't think that's the world. That's not the world I want at all for anybody. And there needs to be pushback against that. And this type, it's not like you would be honestly, how many people would you be turning away for this? If it happens.
Exactly. It's not like it happens all the time.
Right.
I mean, every now and then they might be more low key about it.
Sure.
Where you get a weird feeling, because, like,
Right.
I'm a brown woman. Like, when people are being, like, weird with you.
Of course.
But, like, sometimes it's hard to pinpoint exactly why. But like when we make demands as your employees and we're like, hey, we feel disrespected, we feel like you took the wrong side here, and then like you still see them, and then you're like, oh, later we're like, oh, we're sorry and we really care about you, but also we're not going to do anything to change it. Well, you know, I've been there almost 5 years, and
Yeah.
I got ballsy because I got a new job, and I was like, okay, I'm going to be leaving soon, so I got a little ballsy, I'll admit this. So I asked the director to ask the owner, and was like, hey, since, you know, he was in the civil rights movement and he cares about black people so much, why are we working on MLK Day, and why don't we get that day off?
Right. Okay.
So, yeah, and then,
Just
and
being
then, you know,
petty as hell.
2 weeks later, I get pulled in by my direct supervisors that they're letting me go, but that they're giving me 60 days to work there because the owner wanted to fire me that day.
Wow.
But since my direct supervisors love me so much and there's no real actual, like, counseling reason that I'm being let go, they begged for me to get another 60 days to work there. So, you know, I was able to, like, you know, work on getting my, like, clientele base at my new part-time job.
Wow.
But, like, it still put me in a shitty position.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that is a very, very unique, interesting circumstance. And, you know, it is something, you know, there isn't any sort of industry, there isn't any sort of job, there isn't any sort of situation that's free from that stuff. And it has to be tackled head on when it happens. And the walk out of work is a great response because it doesn't require that you have a union or that you sign cards or anything. It's literally just everybody that makes that fucking place work saying you're going to stop.
The owners, the director was like, we understand if y'all want to leave for the day. So then, like, they told us to walk out, too, at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Like, okay, well, great. What the fuck? And now we don't get paid for this day, too. Because it's hourly, not salary.
Fuck.
Bullshit.
Wow, they did businessman chess on you.
Businessman chess. I hate businessman
I
chess.
have one more thing on top of that, super quick. That same week, we also got a non-renewal lease from our apartment complex. We've been at 2 years, which I'm also, because I've been fighting with everybody, I guess. Because I got into it with the regional manager for them trying to charge for parking spots, reserved parking spots for everyone, because there weren't enough parking spots. But I went and counted all of them and then made flyers and said that there was like 340 parking spots instead of like 200, like they said, so that they're lying to us, and like gave them the regional manager's email, direct number, called the office. So I stirred up some trouble for the apartment complex.
Wow, you're getting it done.
Renewal. Yeah, fuck them. I'm mad.
Yeah, cause problems.
I'm an angry brown woman.
Sure.
So I'm like, I'm tired of thinking this bullshit.
Yeah, I'm with you. Cause problems wherever you can.
I mean, yeah, and I am. And, like, I mean, I do have some privilege, of course, in that, because, like, you know, I have my degree to fall back on and my husband. So, like, I'm like, fuck them. We'll be fine for a little bit. But now I'm like, oh, shit, like, I really need to, like, start worrying about money in, like, a month or two.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, but yeah, and it is nice though
you
when
want to fight, but then you're like, I also have to survive.
Yeah, I mean, you have
That's
to,
having to survive.
of course.
That's what made me nuts. I mean, at Lexi's, right? When I was working there, it was like the reason I finally ended up blowing up on the guy and throwing salad dressing at him is because I was the only person in that room that could.
Yeah.
I was the only person in that room that, like, I have a wife. I have other ways to make. Street Fight was kicking me back like $800 a month or something like that at the time. So I was just like, man, fuck this, you know? But there were other guys there that were like, there's guys there that are on probation and on parole and they need to keep a job. And like, that was the thing that really pissed me off about it, was that he would hire people on parole that needed to have employment and then he would treat them like trash. And, you know, hey, if there is that little bit, I always say that if you have any amount of privilege, then, I mean, if you can leverage that.
Yeah. I'm going to use it to, like, stand up for my
Yeah.
sisters.
Yeah.
And my, you know, Because as a minority immigrant woman, I'm like, you know what, fuck this. I'm not scared to stand up to white people, even if they are in management. And I've been doing that shit for like a few years, which is probably where they got tired of it. And we're like, you know what, she's got a new job. We should just let her go.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you put a notice before they let you go? Did you say?
No, I didn't. They just like gave me this letter that I didn't even get to keep that says like my employment terminates in 60 days, and I was like, fuck it, whatever. And I went back to work that next day, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna fucking do this.
Yeah. Oh, so you worked the
You know,
60
it's a lot
days?
of shit.
You worked the 60
I
days?
worked the 60
Damn.
days.
I would never do that.
And like look the owners in the eyes and the director and was like, I'm still here. You're not gonna get rid of me that easily.
Oh, I love you so much.
I mean, that's the way to be, though.
Just-
The way to be is to, like, look, not all of us, not everybody has time, especially working people don't have time to go to meetings, to organizing and things like that. And like the one thing that sovereign citizens have right is just fucking be a pain in the ass then. If all you have to do, like being a pain in the ass is a type of that's I think a legitimate type of activism. Like I
told them
I admire anybody who,
last meeting.
yeah, I mean, I admire anybody who's like, there's those people that'll just fill out paperwork. They're just like, you know what? I'll fucking go to small claims court. I'll fill out all the paperwork, and they'll just go through the whole rigmarole, and they'll just go to small claims court and, maybe win $800 from Verizon. And it's like, you know what though? You did it.
Yeah. You got the prize.
Yeah.
You were a pain in the ass.
It's funny because at the clinic, I've told them they recently this last year got 2 minority girls or my friends to be like middle management, and I said in the meetings, I'm like, it's great that you guys hired these 2 minorities as middle management, but at the end of the day, upper management is still white. Your name is still white, and you're still white, so like it's not going to really change anything in front of everybody in the staff meeting.
Fuck.
And all the upper management people are like, okay. But then all the minorities later are like, damn, girl, seriously, like, I
Yeah.
can't believe you said that. And I was like, but can you? And they're like, yeah, I can.
Whew.
Well, I appreciate you calling, and call in
Flamethrower.
anytime, please.
I got stories, man. I got at the abortion clinic. Like, I'm like actually worked there for years. I ran into Louder with Crowder, if you know that guy.
Yep,
He
Steven Crowder.
Yeah, like he came up to me as I was locking the clinic doors with the chain, and like I didn't know who he was at the time, and like was like, hey, well, how much does it cost? And like was being really creepy, and we're like, I automatically got like scared because I was like, what is this white boy coming up to me as I'm locking the door, like all alone in the parking lot, like not safe? And turns out it was this guy undercover.
Yeah.
God damn, really?
Shit.
What was his disguise?
Yeah, and then and he just had a cap and wasn't shaved or anything, and like was just asking weird questions about money and abortion. And I was like, well, you can call tomorrow, like we're closing. And he's like, oh, I just want to know. I was like, no, we're closing. You can call tomorrow. Okay, I'm gonna go away now. And he's like, and he walked away. And like then like the next day he came out with that big old video of the clinic in like Albuquerque or Colorado or something, and I was like, oh my god, that's the guy that was like talking to me. And we like screenshotted his car, and like it was like crazy.
God damn, yeah, that is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, bomb threats.
Well, thank you for calling, and we're gonna go to break now.
Yeah. Do you on? Do you have anything you want to plug at all, or any attention
No,
you need to put anywhere?
no.
All right.
All right. Have a good night.
Well, thanks for calling in. We appreciate it.
Have a good night.
You too.
Let's
All
make
right,
this.
bye.
Let's make this break happen, Brett. Really easily.
Break time.
And simply. And hold on, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna. Okay, audio's on.
We got Wilfred Moth, right? With the album All the Water Belonging to the Moon.
All right. I've done everything right. Let's do this.
Is it working? really weird buzz I'm hearing.
There's nothing.
Let's see
coming
what the
out
chat
of
says.
the thing. It's not working.
It's not working. Okay.
It's not working. Hold on.
Welcome.
I knew it was.
So everybody, Street Fight Radio comes to you twice a week, every Wednesday night, every Sunday night. We do a street fight. I'm Brett. He's Brian.
Let me try
Y'all
it.
know us, but some of you all don't. Maybe it's your first show. Thanks for giving it a shot. We're trying to spread this mess across the U.S. We're just so blessed to have the chance to do it. So for those of you that want to create a more horizontally organized world and support our mission to make that happen, head over to Patreon, patreon.com/Street Fight Radio. Over there, and you don't have to even sign up for paying anything. I've been doing my High Five Friday every single Friday, 5 things like a podcast, a quote, music, movie, something. I share like 5 things during the week that I like, recipes, apps, you never know. That's absolutely free. If you want to be the first to know about our touring information, where we're going to be performing live, sign up for that Patreon email. It's totally worth it. It's kind of like our email list for those older people that still don't understand what a Patreon is. Technically, I mean, I don't know if patron.com was taken or if this is some weird white people getting it wrong. I don't know what it is. Why? Because or maybe just Patron already had it, but it shouldn't have been called patron.com. Don't you think? I mean, it's Patron. It's a play off of that, but they just added like a new metal, like a Tool Enema. They added one of them extra E's into it. Now I'm saying Patreon.
This is crazy, man.
Oh, not really. There's been a lot of technical difficulties on this show that I feel far surpassed.
It seems like it's
this
playing,
moment.
according to me, over here.
It sounds bad.
It might be buzzy music.
Yeah, we like buzzy stuff.
It's called Shatter with a Humming.
Sounds great. So you sound great now.
All right.
Can you hear the music, folks?
Ask them if they can hear the music.
Folks on the live stream, can you hear that music? They cannot hear the music. Well, I think
It's on?
the music is going to be happening. Is it going? Now it's good. Yes, you got it.
I get messages about that thing a couple times a day. Are you really doing the shop? Yeah, I'm really doing the shop. They're like, I can't wait to hear it. Wilfred Pond, we're gonna let this song play out. It's kind of freaky. Then he sends us all. That's why LMR, he gets the ball. I also just think the miniseries idea is one thing I know. Like, video stuff is important. For me, I want audio, and I think people want to be able to do something. And it's also like giving them like doing October or something. Like never right up. Yeah. I'm all about it. That's where we're at. I mean, we still have I think we'll get other people for the October thing. I think people will find it. You know what I mean? Like then we just got and the bonus shows. I just did Jamie Peck and now we got Patty Moe came along. Hot mic. Am I saying bad stuff?
No, I can hear. They can hear it.
Well, shit. Well, let's go back. Let's go back in then. I mean,
music.
I can cut the music. That's my job. We're back.
And we're back. That was Alderman Water. Find them on Band.
I'm embarrassed. People heard me saying that people want to hear something that I do.
Yeah, Brian, very confident in his Jocktober that's coming up. It's going to be good.
Hey,
Folks.
what's up, everybody?
Thanks for listening to the show. We do appreciate it, and we really love the live stream. It's a cool addition to the show. Just thinking about how we started about all this, and getting started just doing a podcast that people got on their like fucking Zunes and iPods and shit. And then now we have interactive call-in shows and can do fun stuff like ABCD. This is great. We do have a full queue, so we're going to go into like a speed round for the rest of these calls here. Let me see. You ready to get back into this?
Do it.
All right. Thank you for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Oh, is this me?
It is.
It's you.
Hello? Hello. Hi. My name is Rory. I'm from Columbus.
Oh, shit.
So I just had...
Wait a minute. A Columbus person gets a special oh, shit. What's up, Rory?
Oh, wow. Hello.
Yeah, Columbus is the best.
Doing a live show
Best
here
in
in
the
June.
Midwest.
Yeah. So I just, since it's kind of quick, I just figured I had a little birthday adventure story for you guys.
Okay.
It might have had a acquaintance whose name is Molly involved.
Okay.
And
Heard about her.
the first time and only time that I've done this, because I'm normally a very lame-o straight edge. So
Straight edge to Molly.
there are multiple.
Like I'm a straight edge, except for the times I do Molly.
No, like everything. Like literally, I am a straight edge about everything, with the exception of like this and shrooms. So
Well, you're open-minded.
that's true.
Particular.
I mean,
You have preferences. Brian Brian says he has preferences.
That's fair. I feel that. So there are a couple parts to this. So I swear this is not just a story basket. So I was at a rave, and unfortunately everything kind of hit me after about 45 minutes, and I did the whole puking thing. It's real unpleasant. I thought about staying, but then I realized that was a terrible idea. So I decided to go home. A friend of mine called an Uber. At this point, my body was just like feeling really awful. I did not like it at all, and I just wanted to be in bed. So, Uber shows up, we get in the road, and I'm like death gripping the door because my eyes won't focus and the lights are swerving around and everything. It's not very pleasant, but I'm trying to keep it together because I'm trying not to make this a very normal. I do know that I'm tripping balls. And a few minutes pass, and this guy keeps like trying to make conversation with me and my partner about our jobs and stuff. I keep managing to put words out that are coherent.
You persevere. You're a survivor.
Yes. Yeah. But eventually the conversation dies again, and this like time is just like stretching out endlessly. And this guy tries to make conversation again with, read any good books lately? And I just like get this feeling in my stomach. I'm just like, man, weird question, and you're right to driving an Uber in the middle of the night. Where is this going? So I talk about how we're a bunch of Columbus people. Well, not a bunch, but there's some of us in Columbus that are doing a book club. We're reading Red Mars by Kim Robinson, which is great. So I'm talking about that while still death gripping the door, and all the lights are just like going around. I'm still trying to be coherent. And he's just like responding non-committally, and it's pretty clear he asked the question just to talk about whatever he's reading. So he brings up this biography about this like ancient French nun, and we're just like, okay, cool, dude.
Very hip.
And then the foreboding feeling, yep, very cool. And the foreboding comes back because he's just like, yeah, I'm also reading 12 Rules to Life by Jordan Peterson.
I knew it. I knew it.
Always with the Jordan.
They got to proselytize.
Exactly. That was my exact. I just like feel like I willed this into existence because like I had this thought. I had the thought of like, God, I hope this guy is not just gonna try to talk to me about Jordan Peterson while I'm just like dying in the back of this Uber, please.
You're like, hey, I bet you're going home to a house with a bed that's not even made. You know, it's terrible.
Yep.
You ever heard about this guy, Jordan Peterson? He says you should clean your house.
Yep. But like my partner and I, we just like stone face and nothing. And you guys see, this is the thing because you guys actually know my boyfriend who is Gus. You guys had him on the show a couple weeks ago. But in any other situation, he would not have let this shit slide. And I am like just so fucking out of it. I cannot deal with anything. And the next thing that comes out of this guy's mouth is, yeah, I'm also really looking forward to reading the Gulag Archipelago next.
The what?
The Gulag Archipelago.
Oh God, what is that?
I'm looking it up. I think it's a anti-communist. Is it an anti-communist book?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, it's like the Black Book of Communism sort of shtick. So it's just like
This guy hates communism.
Dude, he's not about it, dude. Not at all.
No, he's got big problems with it.
No, I just like at this point, I literally feel like my soul has left my body. I just cannot deal with. Hello. I just cannot deal with. Oh, it's fine. But like, and we just give him nothing. And at that point, thankfully, we pulled up to our street, and I managed to stumble out of the car, and we just like lose our shit to get inside, because it's just like, what are you even supposed to do in that situation? Like, you're not just gonna like convince this guy in an Uber at 1:45 in the morning that like he's gone down the wrong path.
Yeah, and they got you trapped.
Oh, Ian, you know what needs to be done? It's not something that you would ever be able to do. A white man has to spend many hours talking to that guy to get him to even think a different direction.
Yeah. I mean, technically, there was one of those in the car with me, but I don't think it would not have gone well.
Yeah, I mean there's just it's a big thing right now, and
Yep.
they feel like they're going to change the world, and I don't know, by not like respecting people's pronouns or something. And
God.
you know, I wish it was just a guy telling guys to keep their room clean, because I do believe in keeping your room clean.
Right.
Great. Yeah.
Can we just?
You guys are fighting the good fight by telling people to wash their ball sacks, you know? Like,
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that you see me as fighting the good fight by just saying, like, it's, you know, go ahead and wash your asshole, sir.
Yep. When you wipe your butt, you should feel the ridges on it.
Exactly. Oh man. But also I just had one quick other thing. So since I'm in Columbus, right, you keep talking about doing the clinic escort stuff, and that's something I'd really like to get into. So I wasn't sure if you had any suggestions for like where to look up how to do that, because I follow oh gosh, the Facebook page that you guys mentioned earlier tonight. I follow them, but I hadn't really seen anything about helping out.
Well,
so
if
I was wondering if you had suggestions.
Well, there's two situations that happen. There's Planned Parenthood, which is like the mainstream version. You can actually go to their website, and if you just go to the tab that says "Get Involved" and click on Jobs and Volunteering, and you'll get an email, and you can just write and say, I'm interested in volunteering, or I'm interested in doing the escort thing. That's all I did, and so Planned Parenthood kind of takes care of their stuff in-house. Now, there was a clinic that we worked with, we did a fundraiser for, and I really wish I would have had the info right here, but in Pittsburgh in October, we did a fundraiser, and they were an independent clinic, and so their, well, once you're involved, their death escort program was run independently, and that is so like you have to get the information from them, like who is the one that's organizing that. But if you contact them, they'll get you in touch with the right people. In Ohio, though, I think we have 5? Yeah, in Columbus, there's just the 2. There's Founders, and then there's the Planned Parenthood. And we definitely need more people to sign up in Columbus. Like I said, we just added another day. And they're staying longer now, so they're like the shifts have to be moved longer, and eventually they have to be split in 2 because they get too long. So it's ramping up.
Great. Okay, awesome. Sorry, I'm like taking stuff out of the oven.
Oh no, it's fine. And then like once you get involved with it, the other people that are there's potlucks and meetups and all of that quarterly, and there's get-togethers, and everybody's kind of involved in different activist stuff. I finally did I escorted with my first anarchist finally, which was like a breath of fresh air.
That's awesome.
Yeah, someone that lived in
Yeah.
like they live in the Midden at a famous
shit.
communal household here in Columbus. So it was
I
neat.
did not know that existed.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
sweet.
yeah. So, I mean, it's a good varied group of people, and you can get involved in a lot of different actions. So, I would just reach out through the official channels, and they'll get you into the stream with everybody else, and then from there you'll be fine.
Awesome. Cool. Okay. Sweet. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Have a good night.
Sorry. Wait. Pause. Sorry. 1 second. I have one other thing.
Okay.
All good. Okay. Oh, sorry. Also, I know that I think Gus talked to you about this at some point, but at some point I sent my portfolio for the Street Fight calendar over to you guys. I wasn't sure if you got it or not.
Oh, I know who this is. Yes,
Yeah.
I did get that. I don't know. I have to talk to Brian
You don't
about.
have to say what you think on here, so it's all good. I just wasn't sure if you got it.
I did get it.
Is it a Hunks of Street Fight calendar?
Yes.
My wife is not into it.
My wife is not into it either.
Oh no.
I did not think she would have a pushback, but she was like, "You'll have your shirt off," and I was like, "Well, I think that's part of the steamy calendar, you know."
Well, first of all, I never saw the calendar as having me and Brett in it. Well, Brett is handsome, but I thought it was going to be fans, so I
No.
was like all for it.
Sure.
But I mean, if you
I
want
think
me to
that-
take my shirt off and put a cowboy hat on for a calendar, I'll
But
do a
you can-
steamy calendar. My wife can't tell me what to do.
No, you can do it very politely. So what you'll do is you'll wear like a white t-shirt, a white.
Ideas.
Yeah, you'll wear like a t-shirt with overalls and have like one strap hanging down or something.
Yeah, my wife wouldn't stop me from doing it. She would say, "Okay, like whatever helps the radio show, I guess." I'm like wondering if people want to see me.
Well, you don't have to. You could also just do a picture of you standing there and holding like a doctrine with your polite rules to sex.
Yeah, okay,
Oh, exactly.
all right. I'll do
Go
something.
as racy or not racy as you want. So
Yeah, we
ideas.
accept all levels of horniness. We
Okay.
need like a
Exactly.
Kinsey scale for horniness.
Yeah, well, that's what the original Kinsey scale was, or something.
But I mean,
wasn't it?
like how much?
yeah.
Like the power of it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll think about it.
Thank you, guys.
We'll pitch it to our wives, who,
Yes.
for some reason, are not into it.
Perfect.
Weirdly enough, everything else is okay. Every other thing in Street Fight's okay, but a calendar's the thing.
Yeah, I mean the thing about it is, it's like your people. I'm sure there's talented photographers out there, and I did look at your portfolio and it was good, but it's just like, how much time and money can be devoted to having our people like get half nude for a calendar, and how many people are willing to put money down, and we have to pay people to do this too, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm just thinking of it from like a budgetary standpoint, you know?
Oh, it's all business with you. Jeez, come on.
Well, we got to pay for like studio cost. We got to pay for like, you know, the
boudoir photos.
yes, costuming.
I mean, I'm in. I'll do it. I'll do it if you think, if you run the numbers. And like I said, I want a Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
So,
well, so would you stand shirtless with a rum barrel around you with just the straps over your shoulder?
I get a Nintendo Switch, I'll do something.
Okay.
Whatever. I want a Switch. Okay, folks?
Got it.
I want a Nintendo Switch
we've
with
learned
all
that.
the accoutrement. Whatever you need to make it a successful thing, I want that. I want to play it when I'm on the road. I want to play I want to play Mario. Okay? And I will do something for that.
Okay. I'll let you borrow my Switch.
I
little
mean,
bit.
it's not as good to borrow something.
All right.
I mean,
Let's see who's on the line here next.
borrow.
Thanks
This
for
is talking about
calling
borrowing.
Street Fight. Who we talking to tonight?
What's up?
Hey, well, how's it going?
Who dis?
Good. It's Dina.
Hi, Dina. How are you?
I'm super sleepy.
Okay.
Oh no.
Well, what's going on tonight? We won't keep you too long because we got 9 calls to answer.
Damn, that's lit.
Yeah, it's crazy. ABCD night is a rousing success. I'm telling you, I didn't think it was going to happen, but I'm very glad that everybody called.
You were not believing.
I know. My wife was even annoyed with me for not believing.
Yeah, I didn't understand why at all. Like the response
Okay,
response that we got. You know what? He's a wrestling guy. He knows how to drum up a little bit of hate to get all the non-binary and women to call in.
I just didn't expect it to happen. That's all it is.
I think it was my poster that's it.
Yeah,
That's probably it. I would say that. We did get I even invited a dude on tonight. I told a dude he could come on tonight, and then he had to message me and be like, hey, you told me I could come on tonight. And I was like, oh, well, nope.
sorry.
Yeah. Shit, I had a bunch of stuff to talk about, and now I'm like on the spot.
You ever have any shitty bosses?
But oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, there was some stuff about work, like I mean the whole everything with like abortion and the reproductive rights thing just like making me so mad. Just like hearing all that and like another thing, I mean having your period also just like sucks. And like being pregnant seems like terrible and like really freaky. Like so much could go wrong and like it's just like a huge like medical thing and like to be forced to do that and like not have control over like something that's like life threatening potentially and like life changing definitely. It's just like so disturbing.
Well, yeah, and we don't, like the one, it takes two people to make a baby, but like a man doesn't, if he's not around for a paternity test or to sign a paper, he doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't fucking matter. It's her thing now. Like that whole entire burden belongs to her.
Yeah, because it's like, I mean, the intended effect is just to like socially control women and like, that's like what they're going for. And you can say like, oh, don't have sex, but like, yeah, it's like you said, like only one person has to deal with the consequence of that. Like,
Right, that whole don't have sex thing is like that. Wait, has that ever worked? That's like don't do drugs. It's the same
Yeah.
exact thing. It's even harder
yeah, exactly.
than not doing drugs.
Dude,
Having sex is like a natural fucking thing.
As soon as someone brings up sex, I'm like looking at my wife like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Well, that's gross. But but I mean, for me, it's like they hate things that feel good. I think.
Who?
It's just
Oh,
the
yeah.
people that are against this stuff are just like, oh,
Yeah,
sex
like, you
feels
have to
good.
just
It must be
suffer.
like a wrong thing.
And they were brought up from I mean, they're a human being that was created in a world of extreme pressure that like life is hard and pleasure is bad and you should feel bad for everything that you think because you're a sinner and all of that stuff. It's really
Yeah,
for
I mean,
one
it's like some just American Protestant shit mindset.
Yeah, it's really challenging. We have kids that are out there sometimes, people that drag kids out there to go and like spit all of this propaganda outside, and they just are doing what they're told. They're being good kids that are following what their parents are telling them, and they're being brought up in this completely horrendous fucking environment.
That's sad. And I have a rant about like, just like you should be allowed to get paid time off when you have your period, because there's nothing fucking worse than like going to work and you have like terrible cramps. And like even if you work in an office, but like I work at a wood shop, so I'm like literally like standing up all day and like moving shit around and like doing stuff, and that's like braver than the troops for being there at all. Like I should just be in bed like chilling.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, I've seen it take my wife down all the way to the ground, and I've seen in more than one occasion that be like a regular thing that happens once a month, and to expect someone to fucking persevere through that is stupid.
Yeah, and it's like it would be. I mean, I don't know. Like I would love to just like say that and be like, oh, I need like to like have this like time to sit down or whatever. But it's also like, at the same time, the place that I work at, I mean, it's like mostly men. You don't want to give anyone more of a reason to like think that you like can't do something or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like it just sucks.
Yeah.
And there's not as many people I can complain to it about because there's like only a few other women who work there.
Yeah, that sucks, and it's awful because we've even like for the longest time, like guys were just kept away from that too. They didn't even have to have any knowledge of like what's going on, you know, with that time of the month
Which
and
is
everything.
so crazy.
Well, I
I feel
didn't.
like it extends to women too. Is like just not even knowing what's going on yourself. Like, I know a lot of like grown women who like didn't know certain things.
Well, and it's
It's
that.
not anyone's fault.
It's not. Yeah, it's sad. I mean, we don't prioritize any of that information. We don't teach young girls and women to like learn about their cycle and learn about what works best for them and what the process is and all of that stuff. And a lot of it is left in the dark, and it's a fucking crime against humanity because it's affecting half of the fucking people that are here.
Yeah, and it's just like not good for anyone when you have no idea what's going on and like, yeah, fucked up.
I
I feel like it's been kind of negative vibes. Like, everyone's got a rant. Right? I mean, it's I guess rants.
I mean, you're allowed to get it. I mean, I don't know. It has to be said,
I had a thing. I mean, I'll say this, like, until Gwen got a little, like, recently and shit, when more comfortable about talking about that stuff to me just because we hang out so much and she's got a dirty mind and I joke around with her about gross stuff. Like, I'll say this, I didn't really quite understand how much a period can take a woman down. I mean, I think like for the years with my wife, she would tell me stuff, but it just sort of was like, she was older at the time, right? Like, so she's used to it. I think, the longer you're alive and dealing with the period, I guess easier, easier, but the more
tools
used
you
to
have.
it, and the less you're going to talk about
been
it.
14 years.
Right. My wife never talks about it, really. I mean, she back when I was back when I was taking a lot of opioids, she would take some in the first few days. But I guess I just didn't even, I guess like at the time, I guess I didn't care, really. And I was selfish.
That's honest.
And I was a dude that just like, oh, stop complaining about this shit. But now that I pay more attention and I listen to my daughter, I listen to my wife, it's like, God damn, it does sound like the first 2 days of that thing, I would be out of fucking commission 100%. I would just lay in bed all fucking day. And if dudes had to go through it.
The baseline of pain, like, that women experience, like, most of the time is, like, higher than it should be. You know what I mean? Like, even the fucking, like, this is my other rant, is, like, all, like, women's clothing is so uncomfortable, and, like, the shoes are whack, and, like, it all just, like, feels bad. Like,
that's true, too. The women's clothing thing.
Dude, I don't know. I was looking at my calves, and like when I have my foot like fully extended, I was like, when are they gonna do some high heel shit for guys,
God.
man? Because my shit is popping when I'm standing on my tippy toes.
Oh, Brett in high heel.
they make bigger sized high heels. I think you can find them online.
Yeah, I'm like a 14. I need like a 14 pump.
You should. I mean, just wear them on stage. You get real powerful up there.
Yeah, I mean, my shit looks like horse calves, dude.
I mean, mine look good,
they look
too.
so
Trust me.
wimpy when they're not in the...
My calves are sweet, too. You know me. I walk like 100 miles a day. My calves are sexy as hell. But I'm going to stick with the comfortable shoes. That's just me. I mean, women do... I'm not trying to say they have it better or anything, but as far as shoes go, they do have the most... They have the most uncomfortable shoes, but they also got those slide-on boys that just whoop.
Yeah.
And you're in there, and my wife basically is just like, most of the time...
You mean like a slip-on?
Yeah, my wife has said, like, a lot of times with those slip-ons, man, it just feels like you're in your socks all day. It's wonderful. You know? But again, she can't do right, but I mean, it doesn't go with my look.
The other I did one of those.
That's a different story.
Yeah, I did one of those mud runs this weekend, and I really wanted a pair of like tight fitness shorts.
Ew.
And there isn't I can't get like a $20 pair. Only Lululemon makes them.
Get them.
And I don't want to pay that much for fucking shorts.
Good shorts though, man. Good shorts. I mean, Lululemon is good stuff. You're the guy that believes in good stuff.
You're gonna get mud on them.
Well, that's fine. But
Okay,
I don't
that's
want
true.
mud flying up the hole and getting.
Oh.
Yeah.
You think hole's gonna get in your booty hole?
Oh,
I
there
think,
was mud everywhere, dude. It was insane.
Yeah. Okay. Well. All right. We gotta get
you
to the
sign
next
up for
calls.
that?
Yeah.
I opened up the Facebook page and it said 2 hours in the queue, and I'm like, okay, we
Oh my
gotta.
god.
Well, I mean, it stayed full. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you might want to drop out if you don't think you got the stamina.
Yeah, because you're not gonna get everything. That's for sure.
We're back to 10 people.
Yeah. You women, you all came in. You all came through.
They showed up.
We're out here.
Yeah, definitely.
We're out here, and I'm out here, and I'm gonna sneak my plug in for doing art. Learnworm on Instagram.
Oh shit! I didn't know who I was talking
Worm,
to.
Worm.
Yeah.
We love you. You did the
Yeah.
nation building picture.
You made the poster for this
Yes.
show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, thank you for calling in.
of course.
All
Have a
right.
good night, guys.
Let's go
Yeah.
for the next one. We got to just roll through these things. We got to try and get as many people as we can. Man, it seems like if you don't have dudes calling the whole time, people actually like keep filling the queue up.
Yeah.
Seems like we should have to do one of these once a month now.
I think we can do it.
Okay.
Hey, how's it going? Who we talking to? What's them pronouns?
My pronouns are they, them, and this is Kayla.
Oh, Kayla, we love you.
Kayla, we know you
What's up?
from the Street Fighters group. How's it going tonight? What's going on?
It's going good. I worked all day at my little salon. Last time I called in, I was, bitching about a salon I reported, and I was successful in reporting them, and so I got like a little settlement, and
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
like it was like $200.
Hey, no, hey, don't.
Hey, don't diminish the
But-
accomplishments like that.
Yeah.
We
It also made It also made the people that you took the action against. It made them miserable. So just remember that too.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, it was so cool because the Department of Labor forced her to deliver a letter to me in person
Wow.
at my new job.
Wow. Sometimes I'd say the system works sometimes.
Oh no! You just have to be empowered to know how to work the system.
For
the
sure.
system doesn't work.
Yeah, that's the hard thing. That's the hard part. Like, is like so many people just feel like it's not gonna happen. Like it's
Right.
like, especially if you get like wrongfully terminated or something. It's like, what's the fucking point? But it's like sometimes it works.
Okay, so here's the thing. Since this happened and since I got my little, bag, got my $200, I was like, hey, this really wasn't that painful to do. It was kind of an easy process, and I really got to show that woman, she had to come in, and I was like, oh, I'm so busy today. I guess I can deal with this.
That's the best. I mean, just a happy ending to a story, really.
Yeah, so it was really encouraging, and then I created a Facebook group for other hairstylists so that they could learn what their rights were, and now I help people all day kind of start the process of reporting their employers for the type of violations that I've experienced.
That's amazing.
So it's kind of turned into this snowball
That's incredible. That's just
type of effect.
so
You are
cool.
an incredible person, Kayla. I gotta tell you that. You also do the Lonnie shoebox thing, right?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, it's just you're an
I've been
organizer.
trying to do that for so long. Yeah. Oh, I organize so many projects. I have a nonprofit mobile boutique where I give free clothes to homeless and at-risk youth in the LGBT community. And actually, I'm bringing that with me to Philadelphia when I move. So I'm really excited for the move. I'm trying to open several chapters in different cities, so I'm writing a guide on how to do it. And I'm kind of handing off that guide to my main volunteers that I have here in Orlando. But the goal is to make it like a Foods Not Bombs type situation where there's different chapters in different cities.
That's so
Because
great.
it is really honestly, a lot of the work I do, I think people think I'm like exhausted all the time, but it's like when you start doing community organizing work, you meet other community organizers and they support you
Yeah.
through the process.
Right. I mean, you quickly meet people that are about it, that can get stuff done.
Yeah.
And like the people that are bullshitters, I mean, you meet them one time and they promise the world to you and then they don't fucking show up. But the person that shows up after that is someone you can rely on. And then all of a sudden you got a network going and you both have people you can work with to get jobs done.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly been really humbling to kind of realize, like, you know, I am so young, like I'm 23, and I've been able to kind of do, like, all these things, but the organizers that I talk to, I'm so surprised to find out that they have been doing this type of work for just as long as I have, like, even when they were, like, teenagers. Like, I remember in elementary school, I started a petition to, like, change the lunch food, you know? Like, I've always been, like, you know, kind of just since I was, like, a kid, kind of moving towards what I'm doing now.
Well,
So
yeah, you're not okay.
It's really cool.
You're not okay with the way things are. You have that constant feeling that something's not right, and you can probably do something about it. You know, as much as me and my mom are like diametrically opposed, I think something that she recognizes about me, even though she doesn't understand it, is that I'm like always take the underdog side in the fight. Like she just understands that I'm going to say, wait a second, who's getting crushed here and why are we crushing them? You know? And it's
Totally.
it's hard
And
to ignore.
Yeah, I mean, I just think when you become more aware to some of the baseline stuff that, like, you kind of thought you were just experiencing alone, and then you started talking to people, and you're like, oh, no, like everyone is experiencing this, and then it just kind of makes you think more about other people. Naturally. That's why I like to talk about my issues a lot, and I'm kind of, like, vulnerable a lot, because I know that I'm not the only one. And then I know that those people will now feel comfortable coming to me. And then we can both feel better, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. That's wonderful. Well, Kayla, thank you for calling in. I want to say that you are definitely a proud parent. So I want to wish you a happy Mother's Day because you do a lot to help kids in the communities where they need it.
Yeah, thanks for calling, Kayla. I admire what you do.
Yeah, and where's the best place to send people if they want to help or get involved?
Okay, so there's a couple different things. So for the nonprofit boutique, it's called Out of the Closet Boutique, and everything is under OOTC Orlando for right now. And then for my workers' rights group, it's called Beauty Industry Workers' Rights. I don't know if we have any other hairstylists that listen to Street Fight, or even just any beauty industry workers, like estheticians, anything like that. That's a really good resource for them. And I guess I'll just do my music as well. I have a music project called Gutter Girl, and I'm on SoundCloud.
All right.
How long do we have with you? How long do we have till we can come down? Like, if we come down to Florida, are we? Do we only have a short amount of time before you move?
Yeah, like I think I'm going to be moving late July, early August.
This is the worst news of my
pretty
life.
Soon.
Yeah, I want to get unicorn hair.
Well, we will make it to Philly.
No, I really want to give it to you.
Oh, Philly would. Yeah, we love Philly.
I mean, she's in Philly. We'll
You're
go
gonna
back
go
to
crazy
Philly.
in
I
Philly.
just Florida. I wanted to come. You're one of the people I wanted to meet if we went down to Florida, and Florida is not probably going to happen until later in the year.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen in August or July.
If Kayla ain't in Florida, then fuck Florida.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point?
It sucks, but there's a really good DSA here in Orlando, and a couple of members of the DSA are avid Street Fight listeners.
Oh, fine.
Definitely.
You twisted my arm. We'll do
Like,
Florida. We'll do Florida when it's cold
You
here.
should.
When it's cold
You
here, we'll do it.
should.
We'll do it when it's cold.
It's a goal. Florida's on the list. Just
Literally,
like a paradise state with palm trees. Like, come on.
Yeah, lots of fucking prescription medication.
Yes. Well, not as much anymore. That's
Yeah,
not
they kind
anymore.
of cut back on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really cut
You ain't
back.
getting that stuff anymore. This is the way the world works. What happened to the sound?
Yeah, it sounds a little more robust.
Well, that's fine with me. Who gives a
Well,
shit? Thanks for calling, Kayla.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, have a good night. All right. Well, you know, folks, sometimes when you do live audio, there are some changes that happen that are caused by, in my opinion, I think the synapses inside of our brain sometimes can affect the electronics around us. I feel like the electric activity of the human body can, at some points, like really throw an error code into our electronics. Don't at me about that. Just soak it in. Let's see who's on the line here next. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey guys, it's Haley. I'm calling in again.
Hi.
Friend Illusions.
Oh, hey, how's it going, Haley?
Who?
Haley.
Haley, I'm a friend of Illusions. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
We met Haley.
Yes, got it.
Yeah, we've met. Yeah. Well, I met. Brian, you're my friend on Facebook, but I have the last call-in show I was in. I was a call-in with Brett, and I'm forgetting his name, but it was a while ago.
Josh.
My pronouns are Josh. Thank you. My pronouns are she, her, trans girl. You know, I'm pretty happy. A couple of weeks ago, I hit my 5 years. So,
wow.
You know,
Congratulations.
Pretty big deal. That was on. Thanks. Yeah, that was on April 20th. But no,
You chose wait. You chose 420. You chose 420 as your day.
I didn't choose it. It's just how it worked out.
Okay.
Fine, yeah. All right. Sure.
I also would. I mean, 420 is a good day.
I mean, you got to pick a monumental day, right?
Well, see, it's funny. It is. It's funny for two reasons for me. One, because it's the weed number, right? But also, you know, I'm Jewish, and that's Hitler's birthday.
Okay.
So it's just a weird. That's just a funny little thing how multiple things are working out there for that. So, but it's positive. I like to think I'm reclaiming the day.
It's your day now.
Yes, it's my day. Fuck that guy. Yeah, controversial opinion, I know.
Hey, no, a lot of people don't know this. A lot of people don't know this about me. I got married on March 17th. My marriage anniversary is March 17th.
What?
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah? It was like coming up.
Mine is the JFK assassination.
Okay, well, that's a good day for you. I mean,
Right. Well, there's a lot to explore.
Yeah, you were in Dallas at the time. I get it, you know. No, I got married on St. Patrick's Day. I don't even like drink or care about Irish stuff or any of that stuff. I was just like, you know, it's a day, it's close. Let's just do it today. It was like, I think it was a Wednesday. But Wednesday ended up being an important day in my life because that's when we record Street Fight now. You know what I mean? So Wednesday's not a bad day for me.
That works out.
Yeah.
No, I look forward to it. I get to listen to you guys, and then I get to listen to Tapo when they release on time.
Yeah.
Great day. But no, I'm calling to actually talk about a couple of quick things. One, I kind of had like a weird experience yesterday with so-called ethical non-monogamy. Pro tip for anybody involved in that, just communicate.
Yeah, lay it out there.
Because apparently, and I would never have done anything like this had she not, like, lied to me, because she did.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, oh, my partner's okay with it, it's all cool. And then, you know, so I'm over at her place, and then we kind of get walked in on. And that's an awkward experience. But
yeah, there's I mean, I think that...
Turns out he wasn't okay with it. So
yeah.
It's like, don't lie to people. I don't know.
No, I'm with you. I would say I can just see, like, I don't have personal experience with that, but I can just see right now a lot of people being like, oh, no, man, we're open. No, this thing is opened up. Yeah, me and you right now, we could totally do this, you know. We just, you know, our agreement is that we don't let anybody know about it, you know. Let's just make sure that no one ever finds out, you know. That's cheating, you know.
Yeah, no, and like I've actually kind of been feeling disgusted about it, like these past couple of like.
Oh, it's not your fault.
You know, we're really just this. Well, no, I know it's not my fault, but like I have moral like concerns with. I don't cheat, and I've got moral concerns with facilitating cheating. You know what I mean? So it was a weird thing.
How old are you?
And I'm 24. I turned 25 in August.
Yeah, I mean, cheating happens. Cheating
It's
happens.
just a weird-
cheating. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on people. I think the greatest thing that y'all are doing is trying to bust open some of the monogamy, because it is like when people are 23 and 24, they really would just rather have sex with this person that they just met on a patio at a bar. You know, like they really like the rest of the other stuff don't really want to be tied down for. I think it's a problem too where. It's hard to exist on your own. I mean, unless you're willing to live in like a flop house with 6 other people, having like a relationship with somebody is the best way to have stable household in the United States.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. And it's funny because, you know, I try to talk about this kind of stuff with my mom all the time since, you know, it's Mother's Day. But, you know, I have 2 moms, so I've got twice the work to do.
Oh, my goodness.
I do too,
That's
believe
like
me.
Twice the expectations, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the unfortunate part is they're 3,000 miles away back in California. I'm from New Jersey now, so
Okay.
so my brother had to do all the work today. But you know, I try to talk to her about this because the employment stuff has been sort of a real struggle, and especially since I'm taking on student loan debt at a grad school that is, you know, not as conducive to being trans as I would have hoped, and it has gotten pretty bad sometimes. And it was wild. Like you'd think that here in New Jersey, not to do this whole stupid red state, blue state kind of thing, because in my experience, it's like a lot of blue states are just as bigoted to trans people like me. But you know, you'd think that I'd get a little bit more respect about my being trans and acknowledgement and understanding about what being trans means for so many people, particularly since I'm the only one in my master's program who's trans, and like trying, at least attempting to understand how isolating that might be. But it's funny, I went to a conference in Charlotte, and I got more respect at that conference in Charlotte in 4 days than I got in the entire, like, almost full year now that I've been at this program in New Jersey. And it's a really weird experience to feel that. And so I went to my program director, and I was like, he's an Israeli guy who I just found out last week was in the IDF. So, and I'm in a Holocaust and Genocide Studies program, so yikes.
Yeah.
But he told me, I said, hey, I don't feel respected. I don't feel acknowledged, and part of it I feel like has to do with my transness. And I feel like other students in this program are acting like children, and they're really, really petty. And it's directed at the fact that I'm trans, you know. And I talked to him about it, and he instead of going like, "Oh, you know what? Hey, even if you think I'm wrong, you don't just immediately say that I'm wrong." Because
Right.
the very first thing that came out of his mouth was, "You're wrong."
Oh,
like, he
God.
didn't even acknowledge it. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. Like, I didn't realize that you knew everything that I was going through.
Yeah. You don't. Yeah, you can't make. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't make it far when you have that kind of reaction to something like that. I mean, he's done well for himself, but I mean, it's just like you don't make it to any sort of understanding if you just go with that knee jerk, like shut down the conversation.
Yeah, and so I got this really pedantic, almost rude response from him. And he had the nerve to act all offended when I said, look, like, I don't really think that I'm being recognized for the work that I'm doing. Because he told me, he's like, oh, I've read your work, and it's really good, and here's the thing. He hasn't, so I know that was a lie. And then he said, like, I wanted to do a thesis initially, and so I went into his office with an idea, and he told me no. And he hasn't done that with any other student. And so he asked me when I saw him last week, he goes, hey, do you want to do a thesis? And I said no, because you said no. And he was all surprised at that. It's like, I'm sorry, you told me no, it's way too late for me to do one. So, you know, kind of sucks when you have to put your academic aspirations on hold because some cis guy doesn't think what you want to do is important enough.
Yeah,
and that's been a real struggle too.
Yeah, that sucks. There's just enough people protecting, men and women too, that are protecting this hetero cis male thing as the pinnacle of academia and understanding, and the lens of the world is that's the normal way to look at the world, and people are just missing out when they don't hear what other people's understanding of the world is, because it's just such an individual thing. And part of doing our show is we have a lot of people that come out to the show that are trans, and will mention it to us and talk to us about what it's like being in the show and the audience and why they feel comfortable coming out. And we don't ever really talk about genitalia. We don't ever talk about their stories or their histories or anything. It's just them telling me how they have interpreted and understood the show and things. And it's more enlightening to me than having the same old guy come up and tell me, I also did the same shit that you did when you were a kid, I mean, there's just, it's more robust. Yeah. It's more robust to have that, and to have that insight that you can't find as often, Yeah.
I do have some support, which is good at least, but it's wild, taking out this much money and be surrounded by children. I mean, basically that's what it is.
Yeah.
I'll finish it up with this. So I bought a guitar because I'm learning how to play guitar, and I had class that night, and I bought it 2 hours before I had to go to class. So rather than go home, which was further away from me than campus, I just brought it to campus with me. And it's a $250 guitar. I'm not leaving that in the snowy weather. So I brought it with me up to class. And the level of petty and childishness that I'm dealing with from these are people who have the equal sign on their as a sticker on their laptop. They're all trans friendly, right? But I start talking about trans rights with them in a class context, and they start getting mad at me. But so it shows how supportive they are. But at any rate, this girl tells my one friend in the program, she's like, "Oh, Haley brought her guitar. Is she gonna sing us her part of a lecture?" And it's are you for real? Are you serious? I literally I just brought it so I could not have it, literally a brand new guitar, get warped by the minus 10 degree weather in Jersey. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that offended you so much. But
jeez, yeah, that sucks. I mean, that is microaggression if I've ever heard it. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, she's almost 40, and she's doing that. She's almost 40.
Well,
and so that kind of behavior is insane to me, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully people listening in will listen up, spread the word, and let people know not to be so fucked up out there.
Yeah, don't be I'm sorry. But, yeah, no, those are just a couple of things. I don't have any really interesting work stories since I'm just really a student. But,
no, that was good. No, that was wonderful.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for doing the ABCD show. I think it's a really cool idea. Y'all are, in my opinion, the real best sort of leftist media that handles trans issues really well. And I appreciate y'all a lot. So,
thank you.
Thank you.
On, guys.
Yeah, thanks for calling in. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you.
Ooh, we are about 15 minutes away.
Yeah.
From the end of this thing.
Right.
So.
Right. We can do this.
9:05, baby. How many calls?
We got 6 calls.
It's
probably not going to get 6. 6 is a lot.
I guess we can go to 12:10 because we played an 8-minute song.
Okay.
So we'll add another 5 minutes.
I think we started 5 minutes late.
I know. That's why I said it's 11:50. I said we have 15 minutes left. We got 20 minutes left.
Okay.
In the show. Let's get this call.
Hello. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to?
Hey,
what's up, King? It's Carbo. She, her. I'm one of the mods from the Discord.
Oh, cool. Hey,
Hey,
Carbo.
how's it going?
Hey, I am doing awesome. Been sipping on some blue lemonade vodka, so I'm not drunk. I'm
Yum.
very upset.
Yeah, I'm on the Cabo Wabo right now.
I'm on the Kratom, the Red Mangda. Red.
Oh, man, I'm great.
Yeah.
So I'm just calling. I wanted to call in and talk about. Well, I just wanted to first of all shout out the Discord for being the coolest fucking community online. I actually just met somebody. Shout out to my friend Natalie from the Discord a couple of days ago, and we've been having all kinds of fun spreading this mess across the U.S.
Thank you.
Dallas.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to call. I had like a catch-up scam also that I wanted to share with y'all.
I would love to hear a catch-up scam.
So I worked at Target for like 2 years. I had the same job as Ben from Ithaca. Actually, is one of the like the leads up front, and we just get a lot of different like scams and like weird stuff coming through. And I think the best one that ever got us was that one day this person returned a like $50 printer ink cartridge, right? And generally with electronics returns, you would like go back and like, you know, open up the box and check and see and make sure that the stuff was like legit. But we just kind of let this one through because it was just a, you know, it's printer ink, whatever. And so we accepted the return, gave him back our $50, and then we went to double check before we put it back on the shelf, and we opened it up, and they had taken out the printer cartridge and replaced the contents of the box with about 50 Heinz ketchup packets. They just went right by us. They just got their $50 back. So it's a pretty cool scam to try if you ever feel the need.
Yeah, now you know the official ratio for ink cartridges to ketchup packets, 50-1.
That's genius.
Yeah.
I love the people that return stuff with like a brick. I like that one. I mean, I wish they didn't use, I think they use like a bad, I think they use like a slur in it, like in Spanish. But the one where they actually they wrote something nasty to the person on the brick.
Yeah.
Returned a PlayStation and wrote something nasty on the brick.
There was back in the day when PlayStation 2 was around, there was a lot of people that was selling the boxes, but it made it sound like it was the system.
Oh, that's so funny.
And they would sell like these boxes for $700.
Oh my god.
Because people weren't like doing their due diligence and reading the full description of the auction.
And nobody opens them. Nobody. Oh, I guess if it's an eBay, but yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I mean, I would probably just if I bought a PlayStation 4 on Craigslist, I'll bet I'd buy a brick. I'd be likely to buy a brick because I would just throw it in the car. I don't check anything.
Right, you're not going to ask them to plug it in.
I guess like my anarchism is the thing that like is also my downfall because I do have a very like my idea of how much crime there is probably way lower than the actual amount of crime. You know what I mean? So like people ripping me off, I'm like, you know,
This is fine.
never gonna rip me off, and you get home and got ripped off. But today I had
like a perfectly good printer cartridge.
I actually had to return some business casual clothes that I bought the other day, and I didn't have my receipt on me. And I stopped this poor woman that was working there on the way into the store. I was like, I am walking in with these clothes to return them.
Yeah.
I am not, because I had a guilty conscience already by the time I got in there. I thought they were going to accuse me of stealing.
They're going to jump down your throat.
Yeah, they didn't. They were nice to me. Marshalls, thank you. I did return the business casual clothes because I didn't need them.
Oh yeah, dude. No, you can get away with whatever you want in that return line though. Like they'll just let you do whatever you want.
They didn't give me my money back. They gave me store credit, and then I let my wife buy candles for Mother's Day. She bought $30 worth of candles.
Hell yes. No, that's self-care.
Yeah, women love. I'm on an ABCD show. Like, women love candles. I don't know.
Yeah. You know what? If you
She
don't
actually bought
get them candles and lotion for their birthday, they won't resent you for the rest of your life.
She actually bought one of those gendered candles.
Oh, really?
Warm tobacco pipe.
Oh.
Warm pipe tobacco.
That's a nice compliment to that.
Yeah,
Vodka.
I saw one the other day. Actually, I was at an old TJ Maxx the other day, and they had a candle that was the brand was MI, Manly Indulgence.
I have the yeah, those are the ones.
wow.
And
the
the
black candle.
Yes.
Yep.
The scent is Bachelor Pad,
Yes,
which
ooh,
is
geez,
gross. I'm just thinking like
ooh.
Doritos and feet and
Come.
yeah, and spoiled ice cream,
So,
vomit.
Gross, man. Bachelor pad. Oh, got Papa John's pizza.
Yes, garlic butter. Well, thanks for calling in. We appreciate it.
yeah, I'm gonna let y'all get on these calls. Y'all have a good night now.
You too.
Thank you.
All right, let's see if we can do this.
Come.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to?
Hello, this is Heaven. She, her.
Hey, Heaven, how are you?
I am doing all right. This is, I feel like I'm calling it a love line, like, long time listener, first time caller type of thing.
Oh, cool. Yeah. We give probably the worst sex advice though.
Yeah,
So
we're
I would
not-
probably ask a different kind of question.
We're not experts at anything, really.
Neither's fucking Dr. Drew or Adam Carolla.
I used to listen to it so often, and
yeah.
it's just like some of the stuff Adam Carolla used to say, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I, believed half of it.
Oh God,
Yeah.
yeah. He was like, you start thinking about the fact that you kind of, maybe you didn't, but I thought he was like kind of a relationship expert, and then knowing more about him now, it's like, holy shit,
He's a monster.
oh my God, a guy like that.
Not cool.
What a fucking concept
cool.
for a show. We're going to have people call in and talk about the problems that they have in their relationships and with sex. And we're going to have them talk to a fucking conservative comedian that's going to make fun of them.
Yeah.
That was the concept
God.
of Love Line. God, radio. Fucking radio, man. What a
yeah.
cesspool corporate radio was.
Yeah, I was 14, so it's like, oh, sex. Okay, this is interesting, and
I did
stopped
too.
listening to it after a while.
Oh, I watched it on MTV and then I listened to it sometimes. I mean, I've always been a big time talk radio guy. So and look, talk radio was all fucking conservative white dudes until very recently.
Mm-hmm. True. Very true.
So what's going on
so
tonight?
I know you guys. Okay, so I meant to call weeks ago when this happened, but I kept forgetting. So I'm going to try to speed through this because I know you got a long queue. So essentially, a couple of months ago, or back in February, I got laid off from my job. And then I ended up signing up with a temp agency while I was looking for work on my own. And so the temp agency called me back, and they're like, oh, great news, we found you a job. And the temp agency that I was with, you recorded a 30-second video of yourself, pretty much talking about your skills and abilities and
Dating.
what your best assets are. Yeah, it's
that's
kind of
like
a dating vid.
That's dating before Tinder and shit. That's what dating was in the 80s.
Doing your tape.
It's so awkward. It's so awkward, and the lighting is terrible, and the angle is bad, so you can see all my chins. It's terrible. So the temp agency was like, yeah, we got you a job. Can you start right away? And I'm like, do I need an interview or anything? And they're like, no, you just go in. It's going to be a simple data entry job. So it was at this health insurance company that was a third party where they sold Medicare to 65 plus year old people. And I was going to work in the commissions department, which is revolting to even say that someone's making commission off of selling health insurance. But yeah, so the first day was just simple training. Second day was company-wide training for all the other temps, and I had to sit through a bad game of Jeopardy and all those icebreaker games, and then at some point they had to do a sexual harassment kind of guide, and they had this elderly woman in her 50s or 60s going through the guide, and I'm in California, so I think they changed the laws a bit. So where they had to include like talking about like trans and non-binary and, you know, like all the other genders, but they didn't use any of the technical information or the technical terms, I should say. So like everybody's kind of confused. And then a gender unicorn pops up on my PowerPoint where it's like this smiling unicorn with like an etched rainbow on its stomach, and they don't even mention it. It's just like popped up on the PowerPoint, weirdly enough. And I'm like, okay, this isn't going to go well. And then as it's going through, they mention like some case about like a municipal judge in Texas back in the 70s who was trans, and they transitioned to a woman. And the whole time, this person who's supposed to be teaching us about sexual harassment and all that keeps using this person's dead name and the wrong pronouns. And I'm like mortified, like, oh my God, like what land am I in? You know, like just how can you be teaching this class and not know,
right?
You know what to say?
How is this the best person for the job?
Exactly. So, and it was like, okay. And then, you know, there were these people that were talking about, like, they've been in the company for, like, 15 years and how, like, some of them were, like, homeless or, like, they were addicted to drugs and, like, this job saved their life. And I'm like, oh, my God, like, what company am I at? Like, what did the temp agency do? And so, you know, I'm just like, okay, I'm kind of, like, sketched out. So the third day is actual on-the-job training. And at the temp agency, I took a test for Excel. And I got a relatively high score, but that's only because on my phone I was Googling everything because I didn't know Excel. So that kind of bit me in the ass. And then, so the girl who's training me is going through all the steps of how to do it, and it's just going by so quickly, so fast, and I can't keep up with it. And she's like saying, like, and she just goes through it once. And she's like, oh, okay, are you ready to do one? And I was like, no, I need more training. And I specifically told her that. And she's like, well, we're going to have you do one. She sends me to my desk. I'm sitting there for half an hour, like pretending to work. And I'm like, I can't do any of this. I know I'm going to get fired from this temp job. So lunch rolls around. I grab all my shit. And I walk out, and the receptionist is like, oh, are you leaving already? And I'm like, no, I'm just going out to lunch. And so I go in the car, I call the temp agency and, like, fake a family emergency, and I drive off, and I never see them again. And, yeah, and they were, like, saying, like, are you sure you want to do this? Because you'll have to cancel, you know, you'll have to terminate your position with the temp agency. And I was like, I can't, like, I have a family emergency, like, somebody needs me, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And I just completely lied and just, like, sped off. And it was like, it felt really liberating doing it, but at the same time I felt so stupid because I'm like, you know, I put on there that I'm a quick learner, and then, like, I kept trying to blame myself for, like, not understanding this Excel sheet, but the truth of the matter was she just didn't train me well, and she expected me to know everything off the bat, and it was just like the worst situation I'd ever been in as far as job-wise goes, and I've been in a few sticky job situations, but it felt really good to leave, I must say, even though I did feel stupid at the end.
Yeah, I mean, those temp agencies, they're just picking up handfuls of people and throwing them at a problem and seeing who comes back the next day, you know?
Yeah. A lot of it's the who comes back the next day because, you know, I did a lot of them where it was just like, well, I'm just not going to go do this anymore.
Right, and it's just like the temp agency, you know, they deal with a lot of flaky people too, so it's just, you know, that's just the name of the game kind of thing. But it's like, I'm never going through another temp agency ever again because it's more about profit than actual, like, finding a perfect job for you. So,
yeah, it sucks. It does.
But, yeah, anyway, that was the only thing I wanted to say. I might call in later at some point about other shitty job experiences. But, yeah, it was great talking to you guys, and thank you for taking my call.
Yep, you're welcome. Have a good night. 5 minutes.
All right, we got 1 minute per call.
Oh, shit. Well, that's not going to happen.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who we talking to?
Shit, I might be on. I go first, my part of it.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well. This is Jay from Indiana. Pronouns they, them, theirs.
All right.
How's it going?
It's going good. Getting sleepy. chilling. The show's going great, y'all.
Yeah, so far so good.
Thank you. Yeah, it's feeling good.
Yeah. I wanted to call in to talk about a really stupid and weird time that me and my partner just had the other day when we were on a walk on acid.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah. So we had just gotten done like walking for like ever just out on this road.
How long's forever?
And,
I mean, you're talking a walking master here. I'm kidding. I'm not going to question your walking. I did walk 20 miles the other day.
That's incredible, but I mean, we were walking for like an hour, just one direction on the train tracks.
Okay, that's cool. That's a good walk.
That's a hearty walk.
Yeah.
It's the beginnings.
Well, we like walk to this graveyard on the train tracks, and there's like a hawk in the graveyard, and it's all cool and shit.
Yeah.
And we got lost after we left the graveyard, and we walked through this, like, we were like walking on this road that we had no idea which road it was. And all of a sudden it just like turned into this neighborhood again, and we're like, okay, cool, we're getting somewhere. But all of a sudden every single house just had Confederate flags on, like, they were like cars.
Oh
Confederate
no.
flag bumper stickers.
Oh no.
Wrong neighborhood.
Yeah. And like we're just like two like mega queers walking down this road. And like again, also this is Jay from Indiana. But we are well not in the South. And
Right.
this is just some fucking just weird bullshit.
Well,
And absolutely not what I wanted to say.
Well, the history of Indiana is pretty fucking hateful. It's a weird white supremacist haven.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like they really do try to own the route. Like, you know, they want to have it because it is a horrible state. It's a horrible shit state with
Right.
a horrible racist history. Still, though, I'm like, fuck you guys, as I think anyone listening to the show probably is. But it was just definitely not what we wanted to see, and it kind of brought it down. It brought the whole thing down a little bit.
Really? Yeah, I mean, I could
Just for a bit.
Yeah, was it like ruminating on the idea that those people exist just kind of bummed you out?
Yeah, it kind of bummed me out. I got really pepped up again a few blocks later because there was another house that had a car that had like mossy oak flames on it.
Cool.
And this is me being like, this is a real thing for sure. It had like flames with mossy oak, and they did not have a single Confederate flag. And I think that's the look people really should go for.
Hey, I got
Just
them
the
sweet shoes.
badass rebellious stuff without the like the edginess.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you want to go mudding, you want to drink some beers with
Right.
your friends,
Right.
get yourself some mossy oak flames, not some fucking rebel flag bullshit.
Right. Dial it back with the stars and bars.
Yeah. Rein it in, keep yourself in check. And that brought me back a little bit, I'll say.
Yeah, sometimes I think in those moments, like when I'm tripping, I always get like when I was like Galveston, Texas, which is like there's this really gross like hookup, 19-year-olds getting roofied type shitty bad people vibes. But there was a part of me that got to the point where I just like forgave everybody for being like born into the hateful world. They like help mold them into somebody that, is so gross.
Oh, I mean,
it's easy to do because I'm not affected by it, but I just, it's like it's just like their tradition is to be these gross fucking people. I don't know how we change it, and they just are so bold now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Confederate flag is like, come on, everybody knows it's a fucking slavery thing.
Well, like, one of them had written on the flag something like, if this offends you, blah, 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 keep on moving, like,
right.
Fuck you. And it's like, dude, so you fucking know you're the worst.
Yeah, you're doing it for attention, to be the baddest or, whatever it is. Like, like we were saying at the beginning of the show, because your existence, you have to live in defiance of somebody else, to let them know that you think you're less than them.
Yeah, which, like, if you really want to be edgy, I mean, I guess just be gay and do crime and drugs. Like that's real. That's like, and it doesn't fuck with anybody.
Yeah, that's true. And that's what's fun is the hilarious thing about these people that think they're edgy and like being like groundbreaking by just being racist and homophobic and stuff. It's like you don't get punished for doing any of that stuff. You don't get punished for being a fucking white supremacist, and unless it's from the people that you're trying to oppress. But like the authority and the status quo is all supporting that stuff. If you try to go against it, start having like a poly fucking relationship and doing drugs and shit. And then all of a sudden now you're a renegade. Now you're really fucking punk rock,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird the way that they've just told young men that they're rebelling by demanding that a woman be a fucking servant for them. When it's like you're signing up for a miserable existence. You watch any of those sitcoms, you are going to get a fucking man cave, and that's the only thing you're going to have. And you're going to be a hateful, rotten little soul that sits there and just disappears from existence. Like you're the signing up for the trad life. It leads to nowhere. Like it's miserable.
Yeah, conservatism is not the new punk rock, and it never fucking will be.
You know what's better? What's better than having a whole bunch of rules to live by? Living how the fuck you want, right? I mean, why bother worrying about the thoughts of your neighbors and who they go to bed with, or what clothes they fucking wear, or what restroom they use? Why even concern you? It's like a waste of time. You're killing yourself. Send yourself to an early grave stressing over the way that someone else lives their fucking life.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, and just like on top of all of that, I'm having that exact thought while I'm fucking raining on me and I'm tripping balls. So fuck those people for everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also for fucking on my trip a little bit. Fuck that. Fuck all of them.
Yeah. It's shitty that they can just be so open and blatant now, and it's not dying down. And even just regular people don't even bother to inconvenience those people in any sort of way. They just go right along with this. Well, we have to respect what everybody thinks, and it's like, no, we don't. No, we fucking don't. I don't have to respect shit. I don't have to respect a dumbass idea just because someone fucking thought it.
But yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
Well, thanks for calling in. I really appreciate it. Do you want to get any promotions or plugs in there?
No, I don't have anything right now. I might have some cool news to call in about like more serious but also fun but also political stuff in a few weeks, but I don't think I can talk about it yet.
Okay.
But I hope that I can call in a few weeks and talk about it.
Hey, we're the number one source for cool news. You know it.
So, ain't it cool news?
Yeah.
No, that's not us.
Oh.
No, sorry. That's
not
us.
I thought we were tied in with that.
No, we could be. I mean, if they want to link up, maybe.
Yeah, let's ask them. I want to get a set visit to Black Panther 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to put together the newest Gundam model and write a review.
Yeah.
Let's see who's on the line here. How much time we got? We're done,
We are way over the line.
Okay. Thank you for listening to the very first ABCD call-in show.
If you called in tonight and didn't get through, we're going to do another ABCD call-in show. Probably not the first show back, but we're going to do one once a month. Brett's taking down your number. We will get you in first if you just let us know the next time. We fucking hate hanging up on people. It bums us out.
Yeah.
But also, I don't want to upload a 4-hour show to the podcast app.
Yeah, 226-414 and 513.
I thought you were reading somebody's number.
No. Y'all three, you are on the list. I will answer your calls first in the queue. I have them written down here for next week.
We will not be here next week or the week after that.
What?
We will be in Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
At this time. We'll be in Denver at this time next week, and we will be in Las Vegas the week after. But the first show back, we will get those people on if they want to call in. They have a get on the air free card. And they can also, if they meet me in public, they can snap me with a rubber band for making Brett end the show. But I just don't like to load shows that are longer than 3 hours onto the thing. I think 3 hours is like...
Sure.
Max.
Well, thanks for listening to Street Fight, supporting what we do. Please consider making a monthly subscription happen. You get exclusive writing, including the history zine that we just did. Brian and I wrote down the full come up that brought us to where we are, the full 10-year history of what got us here, including from, as a kid, the type of comedy that we were into. Coming up soon, we got the travel zine, people writing about their political travels, their personal travels.
I'm writing about the fucking airport.
The airport, so many things. The travel zine is coming soon. After that, the sex zine. I have a lot of really good art for that. I have the articles are pretty impressive too. So if you want to get in there, jump in. Go to streetfightradio.com. I'm sorry. Go to patreon.com, patreon.com/streetfightradio. If you sign up for the $3 level, you get access to all the zines immediately. You got 22 free digital zines you can read, and then as we pump them out, we're doing 2 a month for the next few months until we get caught up. So consider jumping in there and giving us a monthly subscription. We do appreciate it. We are Street Fight Radio. We will see you on Wednesday, right? Are we doing a show Wednesday?
We'll be here Wednesday. We don't leave till Saturday.
I'm leaving Thursday. I'm driving to Nashville on Thursday to see Anderson
What time
Paak.
do you have to get up?
Oh, I'll be fine.
Okay. Yeah, we'll be here Wednesday. I plan to be.
Yeah, let me get this.
Even if Brett's not here Wednesday, I will make sure I do a show. There will be a show Wednesday.
All right, peace. I wanted to get that audio of the thing saying bye, but you talked over it.
You son, I'm sorry.
Peace.